Hey everybody, we are live, guys. Welcome to Fun Simulation 2000. Very crowded edition. We got a lot of comics tonight. We got a lot. If the comedians want to make some noise, clap a little bit, let everybody know that you're here.
Hey.
Outlaw Country.
Real back of the bar. It's gonna be special tonight. We got my co-host tonight is Pratik Srivastava. Pratik, where are you at? Make some noise too.
Going on, y'all. Hey.
Yeah.
My panic basement. I got my quarantine beard going. What up?
See if I can see you. Oh no.
You got a nice beard, bro. Bro, your name is Pimpin' Pratik. That's lit, bro.
Pratik has a very good name.
Appreciate.
We got a really big list. We got a big list. We're gonna keep it tight. You'll get 3 to 4 minutes ish. We'll see how it goes. Stick around for the end for the fastest minute in comedy. It's really good. Go. Normally we broadcast, not broadcast. Normally we don't fucking broadcast. Normally it's an open mic. Normally it's at a bar. Normally this is at a bar called Reed's Local in Chicago, Illinois. They are closed for the time being. Government orders. Governor's
Mark.
Yeah, they're still open though. If you're in Chicago, they are delivering or open for pickup Fridays and Saturdays from 5 to 9 p.m. I highly recommend doing that. I'm gonna pick up a case of Modelo and I'm gonna drink that all on the way home. I'm just gonna drink and walk. That's how we can socialize. I could walk there. That's the best thing about it. I'm going to walk there on Friday and finish it by the time I get home. Stick around next week. We're gonna switch up next week. We're gonna do a showcase. We might do a mic after it, but next week is a showcase. Pratik can talk to you about that too. He'll probably plug it, but it'll be pretty sweet. It's gonna be a pretty awesome, awesome showcase. We did it our first week. Broadcasting was a showcase as well. Yeah, we'll be picking people from the mic too to be on it.
Ooh,
so it's kind of an audition, like surprise everybody. Dude, you could try new material, but try your good new material. Don't try.
Lorne Michaels is on this Zoom chat. He will be picking talent as well.
Yeah. If you want to type any jokes, you could do it in the group chat as well. That's also a place to distract comedians as they're performing. I've heavily distracted during a set yesterday by
personal insults. Also, you can
insults about the way we look. We like that, especially from Twitch viewers. If you're watching on Twitch right now, none of the comedians here have Twitch, I assume. So we will not see your feedback. Also on YouTube, that's full of hate. Go ahead and spew your hate there. If you're watching on Facebook, you are probably my wife or my mom. So hi, Kristen.
Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.
I'm a hornback.
We are going to roll, guys. We are going to roll. We're gonna go into this raw. I'm not even gonna stew this with jokes. We're just gonna dry. This is dry. We're going in dry. Everybody has to listen. This is gonna be a really fun one, guys. So have fun. If I mute you, it's because you're making too much.
I got lube. If anyone wants to go on raw, hey.
Pratik always has lube, guys. That's what you'll learn about Pratik tonight. He'll probably
gotta be prepared, baby.
Good to know. Good to know. Oh my God.
We will roll through this. We will get through this together. I promise you. Yeah, but stick around for the Fast Minute Comedy. It's really fun. It's a speed round, and I'm just gonna basically 1 minute, no light. I'm just gonna mute and unmute you. It's gonna be really stupid and really fun. But our first comedian, please welcome to the stage. I got into the habit of finding the comedian before. Oh my God, I have to scroll so far to find anybody. This is great. This is not gonna make this go slow at all. Where'd Paula go?
Am I here?
I'm gonna have to go to gallery
underneath you on speaker view.
There we go. We got Paula. All right. Oh no, I did it even worse. I did an even worse thing. I did the worst thing I could possibly do.
Oh no.
Cancel the video. Now I can't see you.
You can type their name.
Yeah, here we go. I got it. We're gonna welcome. But please, after all of this mess I just made, welcome Paula. Thank you.
Yay!
Yeah, Paula. Well, thank you all my new homies for coming to this mic. I gotta tell you, I look forward to seeing your faces. I never became such fast friends with strangers in my life. Like, it's great. It's great. So give yourselves a hand for being here. Yes, I appreciate it. I'm your fluffer. I have to warm you up. There's a lot of bitches coming and there's no lube, I heard. So let me get your funny bone tickling and then you guys will be, oh, okay. So I don't know about you guys, but I have a bad case of comic fever. You know, like when all this shit got shut down, I was like, oh my God, what the hell? What the hell? So now I'm getting my doses in 5-minute increments. You know, it was working out really good. But you know what they say about supply and demand? I got more supply and now I'm demanding it. So, bad hooks, you guys. But I appreciate you all doing these mics so I can get it out a little bit. You know what I mean? I don't know if y'all know, but I have some surprising news for you. Normally I flash the Savage Henry thing, you know, because that's my home club. But I also like to flash it because they actually have a Savage on the roster, and it's me. Surprise! Yeah, supposedly I'm a Savage because I'm Native American, you know.
Yeah.
Do I look scary? I'm not scary at all. No, I'm not. It's been kind of crazy life, I have to tell you, to walk in both societies, you know. Back when I was young, I thought all the weird stuff was just us being a weird, fucked up family, you know, and being savages and all. But come to find out, a lot of it was like transgenerational trauma, you know, like it's cool to be good at things and to assimilate fast. But when you find out that you're that way because of fucking centuries ago abuse, you're like, okay, let's find the funny. Okay. Well, when you marry a white man, you're not so scared, you know. Hanging on to that patriarchy, you know, that's important because fuck, shit's crazy out here. I gotta tell you, I never thought I'd see the government kill so many people. You know, I thought they got it out of their system with the smallpox, but I guess I do want to tell you all there's some good news in that, because it's not just your people who are sick, you know, and other people know your people are sick, so that's good too, because that doesn't have to happen. And there hasn't been any strange blankets. Shit, we haven't been able to get any PPE hardly, so I think we'll be okay. You know, I think we'll be okay. So my dad is the non-native in the family, and I didn't get what that signified really, you know. But what it means is my white daddy had fucking game back in the day. Can we give it up for my dad? Married a native woman, man. It's fucking scary. It's fucking scary. He can't get it up anymore, but we can give it up for him, right? My poor dad. See, my mom's she's not full-blooded native, but she likes to act like she is. So that's some scary fucking shit. Can I tell you? Phew. Yeah, I'm from the generation that actually got their asses cracked, you know. And she said that God knew he was going to get our asses cracked. That's why he put the crack in there to absorb the blow. You know, people wonder what a native mom's like. Let me tell you, I got hit by a car twice in my childhood, and I never told her because I didn't want to get hurt twice on those days. You know what I mean? Because my dumb ass shouldn't have been where I was, you know? So it's okay. There are some cool things about being native. You guys can use some of this stuff if you want to. You can, you know, we got cool medicine. You can scare people with it. It's kind of fun. Be careful. We got cool jewelry, you know. And for years, everybody's been wanting to call themselves Cherokee. And now we're kind of encouraging it because everything's going to shit. So we need all the players on the team. You know what I mean? Yeah. Everybody, you know, you do that ancestry thing. You might actually have some engine in you. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So y'all got to stay safe. Keep your head down. Don't stare anybody in the eye. And keep coming back to mics. Thank you for the time.
Yeah.
Woo!
Thank you, Paula Maddox. Thank you. Thank you very much. I like that we
We know her.
were celebrating your father's promiscuity on Mother's Day. That's what this was.
How I got here though.
That's how
Hey,
you
Mark.
got here. Yes.
Hey, Mark, I was laughing so hard I had a trail of tears coming down my face. from that.
Oh my God.
There it is.
Actually, my
Nice.
grandma was found on the Trail of Tears. Funny
So
story.
careful with this live stream. This is out of control.
Oh, good.
Right off the bat. Guys, we're gonna keep rolling. I don't care. Our next comedian, I gotta find them first. Oh, I found them. Carrie Cool Trip.
Yo!
Sunday fun day, guys. See, y'all don't know I'm the pregame king. Like, I ain't already had 4 mimosas. I'm sipping on this vodka now, and I ain't already had a Plan B pill. Well, I'm about to explode in this bathroom right now. As good as I look, man, my love life is shit. Like, I got to get off Tinder. It's too fake. All you doing is liking pictures, and some of the pictures don't even look update. I saw this one picture was in black and white. Is this from 1981? Because I don't understand why all your pictures are black and white. Bitch, is you dead? I need to know if you living or not. I thought the odds of being my favorite. I swiped right 118 times yesterday. The only like I got back was my sister. Why would you message me back? I'm trying to get girls that's not related to me. She had the nerve to be like, what am I doing on here? But what are you doing on here? It pissed me off. And then the pictures don't be updated. If you weigh 300 pounds today, all your pictures need to be you and your fat ass. Don't be putting, don't put pics when you was 80 pounds smaller. Don't do that. And then when I meet up with you, you can't be like, well, yeah, I used to be skinny. Well, you should have put the used to be pictures in the trash then. These girls wicked out here, man. Like, so the problem with my love life is everybody I like don't never like me back. I'm not even picky. I don't have a type. My type is whoever like me.
Yes.
Plain and simple. I swear to God, she can look like Leela from Futurama, but if she loved me, we getting married tomorrow. I don't like the chicks that brag about shit they shouldn't brag about. I was online and the chick handle name was Kayla Cold-Blooded Johnson. Is you anemic or a lizard? Because I don't think you should be proud to be cold-blooded. Do you need some penicillin? Because you shouldn't be cold-blooded right now. I've had a lot of bad dates. I took a chick out to a seafood restaurant with my grandmama debit code that I stole out of her purse. So I ordered her, you know what I'm saying? Like, I ordered her some crabs and shit. Dumbass heifer didn't even know how to eat it. She was eating it like a sandwich and had the nerve to complain and be like, ouch, this is hurting my lips. It's cutting me. Yeah, you avocado, because you don't eat it like that. These girls out here wicked out here. I don't like the girls that I text them on Sunday, like, hey, how you doing? Then they text me back on Saturday, I'm good, and you? Man, I'm not good. I ain't had 2 strokes. I had ankle surgery. My nose hurt. Thank you for caring. And then you know how many girls like I hit up, and then I open up they like contact, and I see that I didn't text her 7 times. And she ain't respond. She ain't respond to none of them. I had to answer myself. I said I'm good. Bad, man. I'm about to get out of here. I like tall girls. They don't like me back. But tall chicks are fun. They shouldn't be that picky. Only people want them is me and the WNBA, so they need to be way more open-minded. Thank you, guys. That's my
Okay.
Thank you, Gary. Cool trip. Thank you from reporting a comedy set from outside of quarantine. Apparently, that's Texas now. That is
right.
Stay safe, my guinea pig. Stay safe.
That's amazing.
We're gonna keep going. Our next comedian, I'm very excited every time I get to see her perform. Please welcome Kristen Lundberg.
Yeah.
DJ Caitlin.
Hey, I'm doing this because I feel good. My hair feels good. I gave this a fresh cut today.
Hey.
The bush. I'm an artist, you know, so I know how to pretend like I know what I'm doing. I'm not an essential worker. I'm not working right now. I've always been an artist, so non-essential. I used to work at Papa John's, though. I worked at Papa John's in Dayton, Ohio for 7 years. Clap it up for that. That's
big Papa.
In the pizza military, man. I had scars, man. I remember I got cut. I got cut opening up sauce cans, and I got about 12 cans deep until I realized that my hand was bleeding on them, and that's a problem, you know, because the color of the sauce and blood together. And I called my boss over and I said, you know, what are we gonna do about these cans? He said, we gotta throw them all out. I said, throw them all out? Why don't we just keep the first 1 or 2, you know, at least? He said, do you want to be responsible for what happens if we do that? And I said, how would I be responsible if my blood is on your cans? This right here, this is a gay ukulele.
Violin.
This is my Papa John's anti-jingle. All right. Don't order pizza from Papa John's, from Papa John's, from Papa John's. Don't order pizza from Papa John's. Because sauce is blood. Okay, so this is really a violin, okay? Before I get out of here, I just want to do a little quick song. This song is dedicated to some people who have been sending me some suspect late night texts, okay? You get some of these. I want to tell you, leave me alone. I'm not into it. All right, so here we go. Well, I woke up one morning to an unexpected text. It was late night Jimmy Fallon wanting to see my breast. I said, Jimmy, I think you're funny, and I want to be on your show. But you got married a long, long time ago. Well, I heard that Conan O'Brien likes his women curly, and then he texted me one night saying he want to curl up with me. I said, Conan, I can't, but I still think you're the man, see? He told me to shove it up my Jordan Slansky. I said no to scissoring with Samantha Bee and no to cuddling with the Colbert of Steve. Judging by Jimmy Kimmel's iPhone camera, you would think that he's the mayor of small town Dildo, Canada.
That's the
He is
place.
honorary mayor of Dildo, Canada. And he also said, if I just lick his toes. On a late night show he closed. Well, I leaned in and I took the bait. And he never got back to me about the show date. Sad but true. I deleted it, all the text messages, or I'd show you.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Wonderful. Yeah, Kristen.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me-
DJ Caitlin.
Oh, let the mic roll a little bit. That's what I always like about these doing stuff on Zoom now is we're at the same production level as all those TV shows you were just talking about. So pretend this is a fucking clip from it. It doesn't matter. Yeah. Woo. I don't know. Guys, we're gonna keep rolling. Our next video. Put your hands together. I'm looking for him there. Well, no, that's not them. It's taking me way too long. Oh, there we go. He's pacing back and forth. This is awesome. Please welcome Sebastian Smith.
Whoa.
Hey guys, thanks so much for having me. Thank you, thank you. Michelle is there, not Michelle, sorry. Who was that last comedian?
Kristen Lundberg.
What?
Kristen Michelle Lundberg.
It was Michelle. What the hell am I saying? Anyway, she's one of those comedians that my roommate that's also a comedian and I were like roasting the other day. Because we were watching you on one of the open mics, and I texted her, and I was like, when the hell did Kathy Griffith start doing comedy? And then she messaged me back, and she's like, you show some goddamn respect. That's Michelle Wolf. I responded like, yeah, right. That's just crazy old Sigourney Weaver with her crazy old violin. So the Michelle Wolf one is definitely the better button. Anyway. Thanks. Yeah, guys, I've been playing Pokemon a lot lately. During the quarantine, I pulled out my old DS and I threw in a game and I started playing it. This is a thing that I do that that's like just so I've been doing it since I was a kid. Whenever I get bored and there's like if there's dialogue in something but it's not spoken, I have to say it out loud with voices. And so I've been doing that with Pokemon a lot, you know, and like so. I got, for those of you guys don't know Pokemon, if you don't know Pokemon, you gotta like step it up, man. It's 2020. Like, I don't know how to help you. But in the game, you run around, you catch these animals that have superpowers and you make them fight. And it's a whole thing. But I've been playing it and I renamed my character Bernie Sanders after Bernie Sanders, obviously. And so like in my whole backstory is I'm just running around to each of the regions trying to connect all of the Pokemon to healthcare. And then like I've got my you know, like I got like all the Pokemon in my head. I've been voicing with like Patrick Warburton, who voices Krong from Emperor's New Groove. So, you know, like I run into a Pokemon and he just comes out like Pika, Pikachu, Pika, Pika, Pikachu. And the funnest part for me though is that I renamed my rival after Christopher Walken because I wanted him because the rival's an asshole. He keeps showing up randomly different times. Every time he sees you, he's ready to like square up on sight. He wants to beat you up. And you kick his ass. And every time you do, he's just like, oh, that's it. I'm gonna go and exercise and get stronger so you can kick my ass harder next time. But I wanted to do it with like a voice that kind of really spoke to that character. And so I chose Christopher Walken for it. So now I've got this whole thing that happens, you know, where like I'm running around and Christopher Walken shows up and he's like, listen, asshole, let's Poke battle. And he like throws out his Charizard and he's just like, Charizard, go. Use flamethrower, pow! You know, and like Charizard's like, you want me to use a flamethrower against a Squirtle? Fire move against a water Pokemon that's known to be a type advantage because of the differences there. You want me to use that fire thrower? He's just like, yeah, fucking do it. And he does, and then like Squirtle knocks the Charizard out, right? And then like he's just like, oh no, my Charizard, it died. And then like, he's like, what do I do? And then Bernie, like I come out and I'm like, it's funny that you asked. You see, we have a universal healthcare program that we've established in every one of the regions. If you come with me, we'll get you the healthcare that your Pokemon deserves right now. Let's go. It's stupid. Anyway, guys, that's my time. Thank you so much again. Having a great night.
Yeah. Thank you, Sebastian Smith. Thank you. I need to start playing that Pokemon game. Holy crap!
Yeah, that shit was lit.
Drop my.
Catch them all, baby.
Who needs Netflix when you have that? Jesus, that's save me about $30 a month. Our next comedian. This is gonna be awesome. This is gonna be awesome as soon as I find her. Kelly Zemnicki.
Woo! Hey guys.
Hey,
Hello.
hi.
So how do we feel about 2020? It is the ultimate escape room, is it not? Kind of feels that way. I'm really hoping I find the exit soon. It's kind of a weird year. I started dating again like 2 weeks before North America seemed to shut down. So I feel like I owe everybody an apology. Apparently it was too much for 2020 for a 42-year-old woman to try to find love. So I am sorry. Crash the system, I guess. But I am though, like I'm wondering, you know, ahead when I'm able to go on a date with a guy again, what is it going to be like? You know, I'm wondering, you know, am I gonna have standards when I get back out there? Will standards exist anymore? I'm not so sure, guys. I'm really not. Like, what kind of questions will I be asking on a date? You know, am I going to be asking things like, hey, have you had a job in the past 6 months to a year? Just wondering, you know, instead of asking my girlfriends, do you think he's fuckable? I'll be asking, do you think he's quarantinable? Could I walk it down with that guy? I don't know, man. I'm worried about future Kelly and the poor decisions I will be making. I'm worried, man. I really feel like I will sleep with a guy who smells like knockoff Purell. You know, it's gonna happen, man. It really will. But I did my ancestry DNA recently. I jumped on board that train, did the test, you know, because I saw the commercials, and I love those commercials because everybody is just so fucking pumped to learn they're not German. It's wow, it's just crazy. So I did the test, and I have to say, I wasn't surprised by the results. I really wasn't. I came back 70% vodka. Yeah. I'm very Eastern European, guys. Very Latvian. I am a girl made up of sugar and spice and Smirnoff Ice. But yeah, it's cool though. You know, you get this little map. It shows you where your ancestors came from and went to. And in my case, though, Ancestry just sent me a list of AA meetings in my area. So check it out online. Yeah, I met a cousin. It was great. That was pretty cool. But it's weird. Like there are aspects of my day-to-day life that I really miss that I didn't think I was going to. Like Starbucks. I am jonesing for someone to get my name wrong, man. Oh man, I really want someone to call me Julie. Anyways, that's been my time. I'm Kelly Zimnikas. Thanks.
Whoa.
Oh,
Thank you, Kelly. Thank you, Kelly Zimnikas. I think, yeah, that's. I just thinking about dating already. That's gonna be wild. Yeah, because I mean, the second wave happens and you're gonna get in lockdown. This is like you're gonna have like this is the summer of love. You gotta find your flame that's gonna last through the next one that will probably be longer, thanks to Texas, basically, right?
right.
I like being able to blame Texas for more things. That's what we should be working.
Yeah, I love the callbacks.
That's all I do. I don't write any material ever. What I'm doing right now is buying time while I look for our comic. I think he's on the 5th page. Where the hell's Noah at? Is Noah here? Do we see Noah?
Yeah, I saw him.
Noah. Go
Noah
on.
Saunders, if you're here, talk real quick. I don't see any Noah.
Yeah.
We'll come back. We'll come back. We'll come back and try that. In the meantime, our next comedian is you just got bumped. You just got bumped. Good luck. You're ready. He's ready. He's ready. Summer, come on down.
Yeah. All right. Kelly, no standards. Call me. Yeah. That's great. I'm here in the Bay Area where we are sheltering in place, and I'm trying to be productive with my time. I started decluttering my place, getting rid of stuff I don't use, things like pants, and a bunch of AOL discs. Got rid of hundreds of hours of free time online. But now the last week I started recluttering again, buying stuff that I don't really need, just so that somebody comes every day to ring my doorbell and I know that humanity is still surviving out there somewhere. So I'm looking forward. I'd love to get out of this, but not enough to move to a state like Georgia or Texas, where suddenly the essential services are racial tattoo parlors. I'm a divorced father of 2 grown sons. Although, to be honest, anybody who's raised boys knows the term grown sons is an oxymoron. Doesn't matter how old you are, how old your kids are. You're proud of them when they do something special. And yesterday, oh my God, my son actually answered the phone when I called. So that is so special. So he's only 29 and he's learned to do it. He's got a huge future in tech. I got 2 boys, and I called them both yesterday to remind them that today is Mother's Day, and they got to call their mother so that their mother doesn't call me tomorrow to say, you know what your child forgot to do today. Her children get promoted. My children forget to call. So now I was catching up with my mom. Usually we my mom is 83. The age when all Jews moved to either Florida or Arizona. And so she has moved to one of these senior communities outside Phoenix where they spend all day trading racist stories and conspiracy theories. And she loves it. She moved it. It was 100 degrees there today. So not quite warm enough for her to let me go out without a jacket, but still a little bit hot. I was raised in a traditional Jewish home. Now, for those of you who don't understand, for most people think Judaism is really about controlling the world's banks, but in my family, being Jewish was mostly just an eating disorder. That's it. My grandmother would come to our house, spend 6 months there, and she'd spend the entire time just cooking food, just basically churning out briskets, kugels, gefilte fish. For those of you who are not Jewish, a kugel is like a cobbler, except instead of using something tasty like fruit, they use other things that are not as good, like potatoes. noodle, and sour cream. And that's why I need to go on a diet. So anyway, thanks so much. A lot of fun here. Thanks, Matt.
Yeah.
Big Ira.
All the way. Yeah, 100 degrees in Florida. Take that, coronavirus. Good luck.
Right? Ugh, ouch. Dude, so is it just me? Does Ira does he not look like Vin Diesel?
No.
No.
Oh man, that's almost racist, even.
He looks like
look alike.
he actually looks like Vin Biodiesel.
Oh no! Bro, who said that?
That's Vin Diesel. Vin Diesel tech. He's very tech looking out in Oakland. We're gonna bring our next comedian, Vikram Pandya.
Oh, thank you so much. He looks as much as like Vin Diesel as I look like Pratik. This is not an accurate comparison. I've been getting a lot of bad nudes in quarantine, man. Like, the nude isn't good when you start criticizing the background. Like, pick up your laundry, how you not had time to fold during this? This is just a PSA. Like, you need to up your lighting game, clean up your room. The only dirty thing in the picture should be your body. It's awkward getting a bad nude because when someone sends one, they're looking for like immediate validation, right? And an immediate response. It's the most vulnerable thing you can do. If your nude doesn't get a response in 30 seconds, the person's not into you, I'm sorry. Now, it doesn't mean you're ugly. Don't be disheartened. You just haven't found your audience. People are selling pictures of your feet, okay? Like, you'll find your tribe. You'll make it. It's a lot of pressure for the person receiving the nude because now they got to manage the sender's feelings, right? Like, they have to decide if they want to ruin this person's life by just thumbs upping it or preserve their feelings and send them an emoji with heart eyes, which an emoji response to a naked photo may be the laziest shit of all time. Like, some person sent you the most intimate shit they could and you're just like, here's a smiley face with its tongue out. I feel like this is equal. It's so mean, I feel like we got to do better as a people. We got to do better. I was thinking about the last gig I did before all this happened, and I did stand up at a troubled boys school, and it was for victims and perpetrators of sexual abuse. And the first thought I had was, should we be putting those kids together? I mean, you're kind of setting one group up for success, okay?
That's funny, bro.
Sorry, success isn't the right term, but you know what I mean. I mean, some of these kids are going to be winners. Again, sorry, winners is not the right term. But like when I got there, it wasn't clear who was who, which I think that's important. Like, I need to know which half of these kids are afraid of me, but more importantly, which half I should be afraid of, because I could be a target. I'm delicious. I know that. Anyway, it was a super fun gig. All my material translated very well, which I don't know what that says about me. Like, I was hired to entertain these kids, but I don't think any comedian wants to like kill at that gig, right? Like, my fan base, troubled boys. Like, that's who I do well with. After the show, this kid wanted to talk to me backstage, and I was like, you know what? Why don't we just talk outside? There's more people there. I felt like a girl on a Tinder date. I'm like, can we just meet in public? I'd feel more comfortable with witnesses. The kid goes, hey, I really like that sex joke you did. I'm like, I definitely did not do any sex jokes. School's pretty clear about that. And he's like, no, you did. The one about your dog. I was like, man, these kids are incredible. They are fucking everything. But when I think about it, like, I think now when I realize like that group of kids in together, like both sides, it's not that weird. Because what life really boils down to is like half the people are getting creeped on and the other half are doing the creeping. Like, that's any room ever, right? Like, that's this call right now. And we know which half is which, like, I think we can take, we all know, we heard the pre-mic chat. We know who's who. So actually that kid was, that gig was preparing those kids for real life. So that's all I want to work on, guys. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you, Vikram. One more time for Vikram. That was awesome. Your target audience is troubled boys, man. You got to crush it at open mics. That's the only thing. You got your audience right there. Troubled man children. not these Zoom mics. Not us. We're different.
This is the cream of the crop. We're perfect.
We're top notch. We don't even have to leave our house, guys. Our next comedian, oh my God, he's a Chicago comedian, but I think he's broadcasting from Northwest Indiana. Nathan Gibson.
Yeah. Like 45 minutes away from Chicago without traffic, and I've just found another Confederate flag on a car today. Oh, like you really have to remind the Indiana that they are not the South like all the time. Since it was Mother's Day, my family went and seen my grandmother's tombstone. She's dead. We're not like threatening her, like you're next. And made my mind about what the funeral plan should be. Like, and it made me think of what I should do. And I'm a huge fan of professional wrestling. I just watched Die Hard professional wrestling pay-per-view. They had to get to a top of a building and then climb a ladder to receive a briefcase to get a title opportunity. That was the storyline I just watched today. And so I love professional wrestling enough that I think my funeral plan should be, I want to be cremated, brought to wrestling shows where I've been all my life, to have a heel, a bad guy, steal me and take me out and throw it into the good guy's face to steal another victory. And I'm such a wrestling fan that I know that you also need to add baby powder and salt if you want to really get that cloud effect. I know all the workings too. Whenever I've watched something, I've only cried to two things of entertainment: professional wrestling retirement speeches and that one Futurama episode. And you know what I'm talking about. People like to tell me wrestling's fake. Which good, because at WrestleMania I saw someone get murdered with Metallica playing in the background. So I'm glad I'm not a witness to murder yet. And whenever someone tells me wrestling's fake, I hope that they have kids so I can tell their kids the truth about Santa Claus. Not that there is no Santa Claus, but that Santa Claus was replaced by Amazon a couple of years ago and got laid off, and then there was no use for the reindeer. So they just euthanized all the reindeer and replaced them with drones. And after the kid gets really bummed out, I'll be like, oh, if you think that drone story is sad, you should figure out what we're doing in the Middle East. I wanted to take a moment to the person who's in charge of the WWE is Vince McMahon, and he's also in charge of getting our economy going again. So if you've never known anything about Vince McMahon, I want to give you a couple of details about him. One, he does not know what a burrito is. He calls them meat wraps, and he's never learned the term burrito before. Two, he can grow a full luxurious beard, and a producer has told him about it, but his response back is, I can't let it defeat me. He will look down on you if you ever sneeze. If he sneezes, employees have been known to hear him muttering angrily at himself. And if you think Donald Trump and his daughter is a weird relationship, once Vince McMahon's daughter Stephanie got pregnant, and Vince McMahon was like, hey, what would you think if we did a storyline where it was your brother that got you pregnant? And after his daughter was like, no. And Vince McMahon went, all right, what if it was me? True thing is, there's only one person I know that still thinks wrestling's real, and it's Donald Trump, because once Vince McMahon died in a limo that exploded on TV, and Donald Trump called to give his grievances. Okay, I'm done. It's true. True fact.
Thank you, Nathan Gibson. I'm pretty excited to see what storyline this economy takes.
I think I'm the only one who knew all of those storylines that Nathan mentioned.
I just wanted to see if we could add dick pills and testosterone supplements and get this thing going. This is what we need. We need a boost.
He was on Men's Health magazine at 80 years old. You got to give it up to the McMahon. That's pretty intense.
He's also, if anyone knows any better, he's also the richest person I've ever heard say the N-word. I just assume every billionaire says the N word.
I'm sure some billionaire.
Say it
on camera.
What about, didn't Papa John do that?
You don't need to hear them say it. Just look at their company policy. It's easy. Like
What about the guy that owned the old Clippers owner? Didn't he do it? He's probably worth a little.
Donald Sterling.
Never said the N word on the audio. I did check.
All right, guys, we're gonna keep rolling. Our next comedian, after we waste a bunch of time before he goes up and kill the momentum, but now he can bring it back. Please welcome Gary Hughes.
For sure. Thank you. I know. He just said black monkeys, and that's worse than the N-word. Black monkeys is bad. You know, as artists or anybody in business, we all network, and I majored in theater, so I was networking with this film student, and I was like, "Yeah, give me a card," and they showed their skills on it. It says editor, that's good, photographer, and activist. I was like, "What is that for? What am I going to use that for?" You're an activist? That's not an activist network. Am I supposed to get like a parking ticket and be like, "Hey man, why you get all right? You gonna be on the channel clock? You gonna be on the news? I know who to call. I know exactly who to call." Yeah. That's just me venting about that. I hate Bay Area dog owners because they're so oblivious who the human is. Like you go to the park, you sit at the bench, they dog crawl up on you, and they just talking to the dog like, "What I tell you about that? Stop doing that. Stop doing." I'm like, apologize to me. I can understand what you're saying. That's why I like my Uncle Willie, bro. He treated everybody equal in the house. He's had this Chihuahua named Rocky, and Rocky had shit in the living room. He picked Rocky up and just beat his ass with a belt. I was like, that's equal. I was like, that's equal. Rocky his ass whooped just like us. We all be in the room mad watching Scooby-Doo. Rocky understood what was happening. I was like, that's equal. I like that. He did the black whooping too. He talking to Rocky like, "Oh, Rocky understand. Why the fuck you over here shitting on the living room floor?" I was like, "Yo, Rocky don't hear none of that shit. Rocky just get his ass beat at the house." That was fun. That was fun to hear Rocky get his ass whooped. I don't like people that act like they know me if they haven't put in the time. And I don't care if you're a medical professional or not. I finally got dental care. Went to go see the dentist. And he was like, "Oh, you grind your teeth in your sleep." And I was like, "No, I don't." He's like, "Yes, you do." I was like, "No, I don't." He's like, "Yes, you do." I was like, "Yo, mama." He said, "What?" Nothing. I act like you know me. You don't know me. I just met you. Like I said before, I majored in theater. I have a degree in theater. And if you know anything about theater, or thespians rather, they just so over dramatic with props and acting. I watched this one porn and they had a vacuum in the background, like just like it wasn't on. She was just rolling it over the hardwood floor, and I couldn't get into the porn because how fake the prop was. And I was like, that prop is so fake. Never mind. That's more of a theater crowd joke. I'm gonna bail out in the middle of that. That's like having a cramp in sex. And we're gonna finish that later. We're gonna finish that one later. I don't like. Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. I got the light. I don't like. My mother does this a lot. I don't like people that start conversations in their head and then they finish them out loud with me, as if I'm supposed to know what they're talking about. My mother calls. She'll call me. I'll be like, "Hello." She'll be like, "Yeah." So like I was saying, I was like, "I ain't talked to you in 4 days." To me, like you were saying. Matter of fact, tell me everything you were saying out loud right now, because I don't know what the hell you were saying before. That's me. That's another Vincent thing. I was looking for a room one time, and he went to show me the place. And he had the big black rat traps you see on the side of buildings. He just had that in the front of the refrigerator. Never even mentioned it. He was showing everything else around the rat trap. I'm like, "Nigga, tell me about the rat trap. What's that about?" I don't think you got rats, but I'm assuming you expecting them. If you had a bear trap in the middle, I'm assuming you expecting a bear. So I was like, just let me know what's happening here. All right. My name's Gary Hughes. Thank you so much. Appreciate it, Mark.
Yeah.
Yo.
Gary Hughes, thank you very much. I think what we should do is maybe I'll open a poll. I want to know if people felt worse for his dog or for him when he told that story. I want to know. Were we having more sympathy for a child being abused or a dog being abused? They'll tell us a lot about right now. We're gonna keep rolling. I'm gonna find our next comedian, and then I will introduce them because it works in that order. Please welcome Raghu Adipatla.
Oh, I know him.
What's up, guys? All right, so yeah, we're all in quarantine. My wife asked me the other day, that question that traps men. She's like, "Do I look fat in this dress. And I replied to her, don't worry, because we're in quarantine. And that's when social distancing started between us. We both work from home, and we both got, pretty crazy schedules, and we have 2 small kids. I don't know if anybody has small kids, but I'll tell you what that's like. That's like pretty much like being the designated driver for 2 raging drunks. Everybody's kind of, lacking the grooming, the places to get haircuts and all right now. And, we're all looking kind of crazy. I think they should, update the evolution chart to include quarantine man. So my son is potty training. He's pretty good. He pretty much tells us when he has to pee. Thanks for the clap. He's pretty good. He tells us. And one time he was kind of in a hurry, and I took him to the bathroom, and I just pulled down his pants, but he started peeing like right away, and he was pretty much standing up. And at that point, I had to get my carnival skills in motion, because it was kind of like shooting water out of the clown's mouth into the target, because he was in front of his potty. Pretty good aim, anyways, I'll work on that. Let's see. So my wife is an IT professional. She's a manager, manages a lot of projects, and and seeing them through to a deliverable. But a lot of our work conversations, the way we talk at work, kind of seeps in to our regular life after work. Yesterday, she asked me, hey, what were all the key takeaways from our last conversation? I want to make sure we're on point until our next meeting. I said, oh, yeah, you asked me to feed our son the pasta from yesterday and told me to do the dishes. Is that still in scope, or are we on target for that? But then later at night, when we were in bed, trying to get something started, she said, okay, this is going to be a smooth implementation. It's a 4-phase process with really some good milestones. And then I replied to her, all right, well, but no matter how big the process is, my system's kind of small, so it's going to be a quick delivery. So we moved from the city to the burbs, and our friends in the city, they always want us to visit the city, and I'm sure we will after quarantine, but like they're always like, oh my God, we can't come to the burbs, it's just too far. Then they're like, hey, why don't you guys just come here? It's the same distance. I don't know if they realize that it's not going to be easier to go to the city. I'm going to end on this. A lot of our friends, they're having babies, and they're pregnant during this quarantine, and they always read books like What to Expect When Expecting. And I always tell them, the only thing you can really expect is a baby.
Yeah.
What they should really be reading is How to Negotiate with Terrorists. Because when these kids are toddlers, and if you can make Abdul Hassan Khurram Abdallah tell you where all the bombs are located in a city, you can get a toddler to go to bed.
Yo,
Raghu Adibatla.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ragu.
Yeah, thank you, Ragu.
Thank you, sir.
Dude, that set reminded me of business management classes at DePaul University. Hell yeah. Big ups to DePaul University. Where are my DePaul people at? Where are they at?
Raise your hand in the chat if you took a business management class at DePaul. I want to see
Rep that hood.
how many of us are in here. I want to know.
Yeah, we fuck with Vizio.
Many people. I don't like that there's 4 of us in here that did that. Thank you, Ragu. I like
Hey,
it.
Mark, you went to DePaul, right?
Yeah.
You know what DePaul is? It's community college for rich kids. That's what it is.
Yeah, it really is. And then if
jokes
you're
are
not
very
rich, you wonder why the fuck you went there is the problem.
I'm a Purdue Calumet guy. So
Hey, Rick.
DePaul is DX and Purdue is NWO. Is that how it works, Nathan Gibson? Do we?
Purdue Calumet's the job squad for sure.
Two people got that reference. Fuck yeah!
Nobody got
Side of the ring every Wednesday.
Hey Ragu, I think you did. I think you got a button in there that you could add, and I don't mean to give people advice on their jokes, but
Yeah.
when you're later in bed with your wife, you could talk about trying something a little outside of scope, and she could call you a scope creep, you know, like. Any IT
Nice.
people in here
Thanks,
got
man.
that?
Yeah.
All right. We got some
That's
project managers in the house.
SQL motherfuckers.
I'm gonna keep doing this. Our next win the day, Pratik. Win the day.
I don't know what's going on.
Where the fuck? It got very
Specific.
insight. Yeah, very specific. Where the hell's Michael Cooper at? What the fuck? Is he here? I don't even see him. We'll keep going.
I'm here, man.
Where the hell? Speak up. Where are you?
I'm here.
He's on the second page.
Talk right now.
It's funny, you just hear a voice like, I'm here.
Talk, Michael. There he is.
I'm right here.
Oh my God, where's okay? There he is. Okay, see
I
that puts
definitely exist.
Michael Cooper, you can start now. Go.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm up.
Yeah.
Hey, how the fuck are y'all? Everybody doing good? Woo. Man, I don't like being quarantined. And more than I don't like being quarantined, I don't like that other people don't understand that we're quarantined. Like I go to the store and it's like playing Frogger, but with disease. I don't understand how, okay, how are you scared enough to hoard toilet paper, but not scared enough to like, you know, stand over there? Like, away from me? Do I really look that healthy? Guys, I look like I've been sharing needles because I couldn't figure out how meth works. I had been joking about how I felt uncomfortable with the fact that Dr. Anthony Fauci, the face of the coronavirus task force, always sounded like he had a sore throat. And now he's been exposed to the virus. So I'm not going to do that anymore. Guys, I don't trust libertarians, and not just because they're right now saying that we should, you know, take the risk of dying, but because I don't trust them to actually believe what they claim to believe. You know, these are folks who always talk about, you know, survival of the fittest and Darwinism. But then when you follow them home and bash them upside the head a dozen times and steal their Fitbit, suddenly it's time for fairness and government intervention. It's fun for me, you know, when a company does it, it's capitalism and the invisible hand. When I do it, it's advisable to seek legal counsel. I live with my girlfriend. She is gender fluid. She goes by any pronoun. And I got to tell y'all, she's great. He is the worst. Gentlemen, we need to start checking ourselves because the difference is severe as a partner, okay? She supports my emotional needs. He spits in the trash can while we're having dinner. Hey, do y'all think R. Kelly just did all that shit to get a cabinet position?
He's got the minute there. That's the hard.
I have tags for that joke, but I was informed that there is a specific time limit for how long the white guy from Alabama can talk about R. Kelly. That time limit is 0 seconds. It's 20 seconds if you sound like you're from the Midwest. 0 if you sound like the bad guy in all the historically accurate movies. Well, listen, I got to log off and listen to Freebird while I cut myself. Thank y'all so much.
Yeah.
Thank you, Michael Cooper. Somebody check in on him later. I'm not. Not me. We're gonna keep going, guys. Huh?
Kristen Lundberg.
Lundberg, what was up?
I said 1, 2, 3, not it.
Damn it, it's us now. We all gotta go to Mike's house. We're gonna keep going, guys. We're gonna keep rolling through. We're gonna get fast. We can get to the fast minute, which is probably usually historically my favorite part of the night. So let's keep going. Get on here, Seth Rabin. Woo!
Thank you. Thank you. Good evening. Good evening, everybody. I'm glad I'm performing tonight. I've been down in the dumps lately. I found out they're going to open a store here in Madison in a couple of weeks, and the store manager's name is Karen. So I'm pretty much fucked. Yeah. So I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I live in Madison now, but I grew up in the Chicagoland area. I say Chicagoland area because I'm not originally from like the city. I didn't grow up in the city, but my parents did. My mom grew up on the north side. She grew up in Rogers Park. My dad grew up on the south side. I think he was a Latin king. I don't know. But one thing about, but I stay true to who I am. You know, I'm a Chicagoland guy. The last thing I ever want to do is piss off the great people of Chicago. So I was putting ketchup on my hot dog at Willis Tower the other day when I realized something about. I love living in a college town. You know, it's fun. It's unique. Once the campus opens up again, I'm curious to know what the university is going to do after that big college admission scandal that happened. I don't know if you remember, a couple celebrities got busted for bribing some universities to get their kids into those schools. And people got mad because they were big time schools. Here's my question. If they were lesser known schools, would people react the same way? Like if the headline had said, celebrities bribe Harvard University, people would have been like, what is wrong with those parents? But if the headline had said, celebrities bribe Harper College, people would be like, what is wrong with that kid? There's not, obviously I'm missing sports. Hopefully we can get back to it soon. One thing I've been doing to pass the time is I like to watch old episodes of Sports Century on YouTube. One thing I noticed about a lot of these episodes is that for like, it's an hour show. For the first 55 minutes, they talk about how great the athlete is. And then like the last 5 minutes of the episode, they talk about what a piece of crap human being they are. You know, like I saw an episode about Larry Bird, one of the greatest basketball players of all time, Celtics legend. Last 5 minutes, there's an interesting fact. He has a kid that he had from high school, and he doesn't talk to him that much. I also saw an episode one time about Chuck Bednarik, one of the great NFL players of all time, and apparently he doesn't like his kids that much. So I remember one episode. There was an episode of Secretariat. They did an episode on a horse. I'm just curious. I haven't seen it, but I'm just trying to take a guess at like what horrible things Secretariat did. I'm just gonna take a guess and say that he ratted one of his buddies out to the glue factory. Like that's just one of my guesses. Okay. But I used to watch MTV growing up. Like I was a really big MTV guy. I think my favorite MTV show of all time has to be Scarred. Does anybody remember Scarred? Anybody? No. Okay. For those who don't know what it was.
Yeah.
Okay. Somebody remembers. Okay. Well, for those who don't know, it was a show where like BMX riders, skateboarders, rollerbladers, they would get injured on camera and they would have these horrible scars, and they would basically tell the stories about what happened, like how they got the scars. I loved it. I love this idea because it's basically like the millennial version of going up to your grandfather and asking him about his scars when he was in the war, and like you would ask him like all these different kinds of questions, like why does he wear an eye patch, or why does he always walk with a limp, or why does he keep staring at my Vietnamese girlfriend, I've come from a family that has made several appearances in like TV shows and DVDs. Like my dad one time was on an episode of Bozo the Clown's show. My mom one time was a Times Square pedestrian on Saturday Night Live, and my brother is actually on the special features of Hot Buzz. So it's a lot to live up to, and even so every now and then my family sort of nudges in like, Seth, when are you going to be on TV? And it gets to the point where I get so irritated. I'm like, Mom, it's hard to be on TV when you don't know what house Chris Hansen lives in. All right. They got my thank you guys very much.
Yeah, yes. Thank you very much, Seth. Thank you very much. We're gonna keep rolling, guys. I'm just gonna bring up our next comedian. We're gonna keep rolling. Kurt Steblom.
Yo, Kurt.
Hey. So since this quarantine started, I decided to start eating right. I've been doing a lot of running. I don't know if you can tell with the webcam, but I've already lost full custody of my kids. So, but I come from a broken home too. My father, he left when I was 4 years old. All I know about him is that he was a man's man. That's what people said. He's a real man's man because he ran off with another dude. So it was rough growing up though. Those places where people pay a lot of money for women to smack them around. Catholic school. Went to Catholic school growing up. Yeah, Sister Kathleen, if you're watching, I remember. She had a haircut like a second grade boy and a pimp slap that would make you pee a little. Yes. But I've got my own kids now, and part-time dad, open for full-time with benefits, But when I do have them, I love having them with me. I'll do anything for them, and they know it. They know they got me wrapped right around their little fangs. They've got fangs because they suck me dry of money, youth, zinc, the essential things. But I'm a parent, right? And like a lot of parents know, you see your kids differently than other people do. My kids could be walking around with a bucket of paint, spilling it everywhere in the living room, but I still love them, to me, they're still cherubs. They're still beautiful, little innocent winged angry birds. They're angry birds because they wreck everything, but they're so damn cute. What can you do? And this is what really, what sucks too is, before the separation and even afterwards, I was always the fun parent. I was the one, joking around with them and goofing around, I was like Robin Williams in that movie where he dressed up like that woman, Birdcage. Yeah. Definitely the hardest thing is a diamond. You can Google that. It's true. I digress though. Yeah, the mom and I, we used to fight all the time, and hence the separation. And one of the things she used to always do is she'd give me the silent treatment, which I loved at first because finally stop yelling at me. But there was things I needed her to tell me, right? Like what?
Uh-oh.
No.
Hey, where am I supposed to park in the parking lot? I need her to tell me these things, But here's the thing though. Now that I'm trying to date again, what I really want to do, I want to date a math teacher because they're the girlfriends that count. You guys, I'm Kurt Steblom. You guys have a fantastic night. Thanks for having me, Mark.
Thanks. That was, I don't know if you planned that, but right when you set up a joke, it froze for a solid 5 seconds for the punchline. You can't plan that. It was actually pretty awesome. One of you.
It's always something where it's like out of context. So it's like, and then my funeral. Like it's always like.
One of you alt comics can try that. You could steal that bit. I don't really.
On Adult
Our
Swim.
next comedian, she's been sitting next to me on next to my image on Zoom all night. So we're gonna get her up. Please welcome Pat Griffin.
Whoa.
Bring my own audience. Thank you for having me, Mark. I want to wish everybody a happy Mother's Day. Some of you had mothers, and if you aren't mothers, it's so. Anyway, I am a proud mother of some old people. Who knew they'd live? We didn't have, no way to know. And I'm 78.
Yeah.
And the way things are going, I'll be 80 by Father's Day. Now, my kids insist upon driving the car when we go anywhere. It's my car. They're insisting. And they strap me in the back seat facing backwards. It's called reverse parenting. Anyway, then later tonight, my son will text me, Mom, where are you? It's after midnight. Should I tell him I'm at a bar in San Francisco? No. I would check with your sister. She has me on GPS. And then now they're triangulating me as we speak. They're all three of them. They're just now. I did have an accident. Bambi killed my Volvo. It was in the dark of night to the left of Livermore, California, and this deer flew out of the bushes into my head like bam onto my car. How I can explain this wreck? Okay. Bambi went to a stag party, and that's where she met Buck. And Buck and Bambi decided to play chicken. So Buck and Bambi are racing and racing and racing through the forest. And I believe it was consensual. But Buck and Bambi are running and running and running, and they get to the road, and the Buck stops here. Bambi passes the Buck. Here comes my car. Bambi! And now my Volvo's in hospice. But that was all BC before Corona. And now we're in quarantine. My sister and I, and my son came, and now he's taking care of us. And he's very, very strict. But we snuck out the other morning and we went to senior hour at Costco. We parked in the disabled parking and then walked 2.5 blocks around the building to the line. And the guy with the bullhorn yells, "Spread them, seniors." And we did. So we get to the front, we get inside, we make a beeline for the back of the Costco store. And there are 3 armed guards standing over the toilet paper. And I yell, "We gotta get out of here. They're letting the under 60 hordes in." And they were coming. So we had to get out, and we did. And of course, we had our gloves. We were doing everything right. We had our gloves. We had our masks. Because, there are, my sister made her mask out of a pillowcase. And I was cleaning out drawers, and I found my husband's old Speedo and made this thing. So we stopped and we went to the bank, and we were doing everything right. Gloves, masks, we were and we went in, and it was not our fault. They threw money at us and they jumped behind the counter, and so we left with the money. And we went home, and then we did everything right again. We washed our hands and we laundered the money. Now, I lose things. I lose my keys, my phone, grandchildren, and thank God I found my phone. I found it. I lost it in the sheets. I found it in the washing machine. And yes, we found my grandson. He was in the dryer. He found the money, actually. That's why he was there. So anyway, I have to look because I can't remember anything. And by the way, I have to look away from you because the camera is way over the left. This is okay. Well, now my son, he's very strict, but bless his heart, he's homeschooling us in poker. So I have learned that 3 and 2, a full house is worth more than a straight or a flush. But a flush is no good without toilet paper. Thank you.
Yes.
I don't know what time I had.
Thank you, Patty. Thank you, Patty. Great.
Yeah, Patty.
Together for Patty. I want to check in on everybody that got high earlier. How are you doing after that?
Oh man.
Killing it. Fantastic.
Guys, this is the time of the night where I'm going to switch off co-hosting duties. I'll still be here and I'll be running the cameras and shit. I need to refill my beers and go to the bathroom and whatnot. But guys, please welcome. He's gonna do a set. Pratik Srivastava.
Woo. Hey, real quick, give it up for Mark, you guys. Mark Hornbeck. How about a hand for him? Hey.
All right, Mark.
This
Thank
guy
you.
has given me like so many jobs. It's fucking amazing. I love Mark Hornbeck. That's awesome. I don't know if anybody needs to read lips, by the way. This is gonna suck for that. No, we'll take this off. That's fine. Look at this quarantine beard, y'all. Look at this quarantine beard. This is 2.5 months of this shit. I look like Al from Home Improvement. That's what I look like. I'm gonna run a hardware store after this. This is awesome. Did you guys know? Did you guys have a good week? Do you guys know it was National Teacher Appreciation Week? You guys know that? It was also Nurse Appreciation Week. So real quick, can we give it up for all the teachers and nurses out there? Yeah. That was tepid applause for the teachers and nurses. We're not paying them enough. Can we at least clap properly? It's tough. Like here's the thing, I feel like nurses are the backbone of this country. But in all seriousness, teachers and nurses, best fucking people to drink with. Am I right? Am I right? Am I right? This isn't water. This is absinthe. I drink it with teachers and nurses. It's amazing. I drink with comedians, and it's like, yeah, I can keep up with them. I cannot keep up with teachers and nurses. They will drink me on their table, and they have to be up early for placement testing. That's how they do. They're fucking nuts. You get 3 teachers and 3 nurses right before spring break, going nuts. They're drinking the Malort like it's no tomorrow. They're drinking that Malort and then it all smells like a screen door. It's fucking amazing. I love that. Thank you for getting the screen door reference. And teachers drink, right? Yeah, hell yeah, they drink. It's and everybody's like, oh man, why do teachers get the summers off? That's kind of easy. I'm like, you think teachers have it easy because they get the summers off? Do you think Mike Tyson is a comedic actor whose career began at The Hangover too? Like that's not how that works, right? Thank you for getting that. That was a new reference. Yeah, like I'm not even like trying to act like, oh, I'm like, because I dabbled in teaching a little bit, all right, but I'm not here to like, don't clap for me. I'm like an outsider to. I was like Jane Goodall. Like I studied teachers. Like, cause here's what I was like a private tutor, which meant, I'm not teaching underprivileged kids. I wasn't Michelle Pfeiffer in Dangerous Minds, right? I didn't get to rap with gangbangers and be in a Coolio video. It never happened. But you know what did happen? I educated a couple rich kids who look like Baron Trump and Damien from the Omen movies. That's what I did. By the way, if you don't know anything about rich people, they all have weird names. Like the names you would find in the paint aisle of Home Depot. Make fun of my names too. They're gonna be like, oh, hey Partek, you have a weird name. I'm like, I have a weird name. Your name's Acrylic. No, you have the weird name. No more fractions for you, Acrylic. You got to go sit in the corner and read silently. I had to teach Acrylic one time. I had to teach him about the periodic table, and he wasn't in the mood to learn. That's the thing about when you're private tutoring. They're not in the mood to learn. They don't really care because let's be honest here. They have trust funds already set up in their names. They're going to be making $100,000 easy. That's more than the annual income of Mini Kiss. Yes, I know that information. And yes, I live alone. Thank you. So I was educating, Acrylic, and I was like, hey, let's go over the periodic table, Acrylic, come on. And he was like, nah. And I was like, nah, you know what nah is? That's sodium. You just learned something. You got to sneak it in there. Kristen Lumberg knows what I'm talking about. You got to sneak that education in there. Important. You got to sneak it in there. It doesn't always work. Case in point, when I substitute taught history on the south side of Chicago, yeah, you're welcome. Thank you. I had to sneak a little history in there. It wasn't easy because I asked the class, because when you're a substitute teacher, what's the first thing you do? You write your name on the board and then you sit on the whoopee cushion that the kids planted there for you. You sit on it. You let them feel important. It's like weird power moves. I read one book by Ayn Rand. I know what the hell I'm doing. All right, guys. So sit on the cushion. You let them feel like they're in power, and then here's what you do: you stand up and you say, "Hey, class, what did you cover last? All right, what chapter did you cover last? Pull out your textbooks, please." I shit you not. This class pulls out copies of People magazine from 1992. That's their fucking textbook. All right. This is US history, and they're learning about Tom Sizemore beating up paparazzi. That's not history. But again, I had to sneak in the history, I had to sneak in the educational. This is what I did. I grabbed one of the magazines. I'm flipping through it. I find an article that I can kind of make educational. And this article is titled Sexiest Bad Boy Actors of All Time. You're probably wondering who, according to the academics at People magazine, did they vote sexiest bad boy actor of all time? Well, according to the academics, they've ranked Sean Penn sexiest bad boy actor of all time. Nope. I don't agree with that, all right? Sure, Sean Penn was Spicoli and he was heartless. Yeah, Atlas Shrugged Pratik, thank you. Sure, he was Spicoli and he was Harvey Milk, but he is not sexiest bad boy actor of all time. If you scoured the depths of time, you know who the sexiest bad boy actor is? John Wilkes Booth. That reference is gone. Too soon? No, too late on that. And sure, Sean Penn, he's super liberal and he hated Republicans. He's Sean Penn, he hates Republicans. But do you know how much John Wilkes Booth hated Republicans? And that joke assassinated down by the Lincoln Memorial. That joke also does great in theaters, by the way. It is mind-blowing how well it does in the theaters. You know who does great in theaters? Also, your next comedian coming to the stage. Are we ready for our next comedian? Can we keep this train going? Chugga chugga, your next comedian coming to the stage. Give it up for the one, the only Tommy Lucero.
What's up, guys? How's it going? This quarantine's been fun, right? Been in my house so much, I feel like I should move into the attic and start a diary. Well, I should have saved that for the closer. Fucking thing. All right. Let's try that again. Should have. Makes me feel like I want to move into the attic and start a diary. Said start a diary, you guys. And Frank, that's right. Oh, shit. Been staying in my house more. Been smoking more weed.
Yeah.
Evidently, just spend more time on my phone too now. End up ordering things online. So sometimes when I come out in the morning on my front porch, it looks like they started building a brand new border wall sponsored by Amazon. So I got to stop that shit. But it's been giving me time to watch stuff like the new Pentagon UFO videos. You watch those? Those are awesome. But honestly, I've seen more convincing flying saucers after eating a bag of mushrooms, man. Seriously, those things are not fucking real looking at all. But if it turns out that aliens are actually real, then I do get abducted and probed. That'll be the closest thing I've had to a date in months, so I won't have anything wrong with it. It's making me more grateful for stuff too. One thing in particular I'm grateful for now is my mom's Netflix password. Getting a lot of use out of that thing. Watching shows I didn't get to watch before, and I'm appreciating them more now. You know, like shows like Cheers. It's a fun show, but it makes it more fun because I'm watching it half naked. So it's like being inside of a bar without pants or judgment. It's pretty fucking awesome. Got to watch some random documentaries too. One documentary I got to watch was How to Fix a Drug Scandal. I don't know if you guys watched that one yet. That's fucking awesome. It's about people that work in police drug labs. They call them forensic scientists. which basically breaks down to being able to experiment with drugs and still make your parents proud of you. That's all that turns out to be. Like it's at one point it's talking about this lady that works in one of those labs, and one day she up and decides just to do drugs one day. She's like, I wonder what drugs will do to me. So the drug she decides to do is she decides to drink liquid meth.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, and I've never drank liquid meth, but I have drank Still Reserve, which I'm pretty sure tastes the same, so I'm just gonna skip it. Another thing I've been watching a lot of, I've got to play adult, and I paid for my Disney Plus account like a good grown-up. So I've been watching stuff like I haven't watched since I was a kid, like DuckTales.
Yeah.
DuckTales is fucking awesome. Watched it so much while I was high that it got me to the conclusion that if I was that rich, I'd never wear pants either.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. My name's Tommy Lucero.
Yeah, Tommy Lucero.
Yeah, weed cheers.
And yeah, weed too. we all mess with me. I vape weed. I vape Go-Gurt. I know what the hell the kids are doing.
That's bullshit.
I play bongos with a copy of Atlas Shrugged. I know what the hell is going on.
Yeah, you
Where
can't.
my hep pants at?
Lundberg's calling you out.
I love how Tom was like shaking the camera after every punchline. I feel like that's the new stool humping for virtual comedy shows. Punchline, you go, I ain't scared of you motherfuckers. What up? Yeah, that's the new punchline. All right. That was
So not high right now.
I'm just you know what, my friend Tony Vin, because if you're watching Tony, you don't think I give you credit. This is his line. He said that I look like I'm high and on cocaine at the same time. Am I right? I think that's a great one. That's his line. That's not mine. Me dropping my phone, best opener ever. That's awesome. You know who else is gonna have great opener? Your next comedian coming to the stage. Hey, see how fluid that is? Those are some fluid transitions here. Coming up next, ladies and gentlemen, give it up. All right. We'll play inside. All right, give it up for Shane Kenny. Yeah.
Finally.
Thank you all for coming out and getting dressed from the waist up for this.
Yeah.
It means a lot. Let's be honest, no one knows what's beneath the neck for us. So a lot of people are getting pregnant right now, both on purpose and by accident. And I was thinking, do I want to get pregnant right now? No, I do not. Mostly because it looks extremely painful. Also, as a dude, I'm both curious and horrified about where the child would come out of. And I'm a teacher, actually, and
yeah,
I'm not envious of any of my students' parents. Kids aren't like pets. You can't just put them in a cage and send them away. But if you're the government, apparently it's a-okay. But the only reason I would want a child right now is so I could have someone to train for the apocalypse. Live out my dystopian fantasy of training a warrior who's going to rebuild civilization in my image. You know, honest dreams. So I have 3 brothers and we're all adults. And there's always the question in my family of who's going to be the first to have grandkids. I called dibs on fun uncle duty a long time ago. Like, I would make a great drunk uncle or drunkle. Merry Birthmas! And also that way I don't have to be responsible for any of the boring or, you know, responsible shit. And when they get old enough, I could tell my nieces and nephews what drugs to avoid and do. As soon as I found out my uncle used to be a drug dealer, him and I got along so much better. Because we finally had something in common. I was like, yeah, what were you charging, man? So I have a bunch of little cousins and they're fun to hang out with, but they're fun. I say it, for the length of a family reunion. Like once they start crying, I just pick them up and take them to their parents like I'm returning an item at a store. I don't know what happened. It started making a loud noise. It's not my fault. Bye.
That's not my fault.
All right, I'm Shane Kenny. Thank you.
Yeah, Shane.
Give it up for Shane, you guys. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
All right, your next comedian coming to the stage. Oh man, I haven't seen this guy in a long time. Good dude. Give it up for Trevor Gertensen. Yeah.
Hey, thank you. Thank you so much. So my retired mother got an email today stating that they had footage of her masturbating at work. And her first response was to let my brother know that she'd gotten an email and see if there's anything he could do. And I was shocked that her first response wasn't, but I've never masturbated at work. And his response also wasn't, did you masturbate at work? It was just, well, that's probably a scam email. But I like about this is that even if she'd been retired for a year, which meant that at one point my 60-year-old mother, if she was masturbating at work, people were like, yeah, this is good. I'm all right with this. Which is pretty badass. It's basically Grandma Pantera rubbing one out. Anyway, sorry, I was like writing all day trying to think of stuff where I'd be original, but I'm not. I was a musician for 13 years in goth bands, and it was funny because whenever I'd bring up depression in music, people were like, oh, how breathtaking and unique your perspective is. And as a stand-up, they're like, well, you're a piece of shit. My neighbors recently were blasting their music, and it was so loud that it was disrupting my cat. That's how loud it was. And I wasn't upset that their music was loud. I was upset about how crappy it was. And I was like, well, I need to, like, if I'm going to retaliate, I don't want to go down there and yell at them. I want to show them what real music is. But then I realized that if I blast my music at them, and then at some other point I have to go down there, and they answer the door, they'd be like, oh, crap, our neighbors are trying to tell us what shitty music in the 90s is. And then Marilyn Manson goes down to yell at them. It's not helping the case. I live on a block in Chicago where I felt better about where I live because I used to live next to liquor stores all the time, and now I live down a street where there's a bunch of rug stores, and that's really great. Because like I live next to like 17 rug stores, which means I have 17 places I can buy heroin. So I'm not allowed to drink anymore. That's not saying anyone shouldn't. I love when people do, but I realized I got to that point that one time my skin color changed. Like my entire face turned like deep shades of maroon, and my entire body did actually. And my girlfriend at the time was like, oh my God, you're having an allergic reaction. Do we eat something? But I didn't want to tell her that I would just kept breaking into the box of wine we had in the fridge. So it turns out like I thought I was being a rock star by drinking all day. I don't know where to go with that. I'm sorry. That's something new I'm just thinking about. It did happen, but it's weird. All right, so I'll leave you with this last one. So I realized that like I look different to some people. but like I'm pretty much the same as you or I. Like, you know, like where you may like a Taylor Swift album, I like The Cure. You might like La La Land. I like Edward Scissorhands. And where do you go to a nice restaurant to get a nice meal and a fancy glass of wine? I hunt people down and drink their blood for sustenance. So thank you guys so much.
Trevor Gertzen, good to see you, buddy.
Hey, do you think that Trevor, were you ever in a band with Shane, or do you guys just look that way? Like,
We just look that way, but I'm sure he's probably been in the band as well. Not the same.
There's that many people that look like you guys. I'm just making sure. There's wide enough pool for all the bands to be filled with unique people.
There's six of us, I think. Now you know.
They'll be on the next Warp Tour whenever that happens again.
I'll take it.
All right, let's keep this going. Mark, you ready to keep it going?
Yeah.
Excited. Your next comedian coming to stage. Hey, she runs a great mic, Friday's Cabin Fever Comedy. Give it up for Lauren Harsh. Yay!
Hello, Internet. All right, today is Mother's Day, and my mom is the queen of saying mean things in a polite voice. Like I was talking to her just a couple hours ago, and she was saying, "Oh wow, we really do look alike in that picture you posted on Facebook. Your nose is so much bigger than mine, but it's the exact same shape." This is the same woman who, in the before times when I told her I was opening for an improv show, said, "Okay, so what's your purpose at this? Like, do you just perform before people go up and do improv so they can make sure someone with talent performs that night?" I was like, "Mom, are you getting open mics and improv shows mixed up again, or are you just really insulting improv people?" Or one time when we went shopping together, she said, "I'm surprised you picked out those shoes, Lauren. You don't normally like cute things." I have never been in a relationship before. God, you wear your cool jacket that you made all by yourself out of human skin on one date. And then suddenly everyone wants to label you things like psychopath and a menace to society. Labels are harmful, y'all. Obviously, I'm just joking about the skin jacket because I would never incriminate myself like that. But the never being in a relationship before is very real. It's not a fun time because one of society's favorite hobbies is making single people feel like shit. But you know what? It's not all bad. Like I'm very self-reliant because I have to be. So like even if it never happens, like it'll be a bummer, but I'll be able to fend for myself. And all the other single quarantining people are tweeting about, "I'm so lonely, I'm thinking about texting my ex." Well, you can't text your ex and regret it if you don't have any exes in the first place. Playing 3D chess here. Do you ever feel like God is actually a writer's room where everyone in it is bad at their job and constantly doing coke? I mean, obviously it feels like it now, but I don't know. I've thought of it before because a lot of things in my life feel like they were chosen by that method. Like I know this guy, he's from France and his name is Guillaume Lacroix. Now, I just imagine that someone showed up to work and went, "Okay, so this character, the Frenchman, he needs a name. Got any ideas? How old is he? French. What does he do for a job? He's French. Is he married? Does he have any kids? He's French. Does he have hobbies? He's French. What's his sexual orientation? French. What's his French?" So they called him Guillaume Lacroix. And of course, I'm a comedian whose legal last name is Harsh. And my dad's a high school teacher, and my sister's a nurse. The only way that could be more on the nose is if I had an uncle who was a cop and said shit like I'm harsh on crime in conversation. Yeah, I've been Lauren Harsh. Hope I didn't harsh your vibe.
I like that.
You, Lauren.
Oh yeah.
Pratik remembered he's hosting again.
Yeah, sorry about that. I was just caught up in that pun of like, or like if your uncle's like a newsman, be like, I'm harsh, and here's the 5 o'clock news.
Yeah.
There are so many.
Yes, there's so
jobs
much
that
there.
members of my family should have. Like,
I'm loving it. All right, coming. Ooh, your next comedian coming to the stage. Whenever we've been planning a tour for a while, and it hasn't happened yet, but it's gonna happen one day, Jonathan. It's gonna happen. We're gonna have the Dude Man tour, the dudiest, maniest, broiest tour ever. Give it up for the dudiest, maniest bro I know, Jonathan Shannon. You guys, yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. I gotta say, I'm really surprised so many people actually stayed on this mic. That's amazing. You all should give yourself just like some sort of applause for that. That's insane that like half the people fucking stayed. Because there goes my totally built-in excuse for bombing, but that's okay. So I'm a little glad that the stay-at-home thing's happening because I don't like going out. Every time I go out, dangerous like things happen to me, and I try to blend in. I try not to stick out or get in trouble, but invariably every time I go out, something happens to me. Like last time I went out, I was going out minding my own business alone at 2 a.m. singing the Decemberists to myself, and this stranger came up to me, and in like one quick motion, he grabbed me by the shirt, pushed me up against a wall, and like lifted me up against the wall in a motion that I would describe as excessive. He could have not had to done all that, and I would have felt perfectly threatened. I don't know if you can tell, but I have like a huge Adam's apple. It makes me very chokeable, which has its benefits. But in this case, it was bad. After he had done this, he yelled in my face, "Give me your money." Now, I'm introverted, so that means I say the wrong thing at the wrong time. And as soon as he yells this, I laugh at his face and then say, "Dude, I'm in college. I don't have any money." Then he silently puts me down, lets me go, then smacks his forehead and goes, "Oh, right." Like he was the one who made the mistake in this mugging. And it actually kind of hurt my feelings because I said I don't have any money, and he's like, "Oh, right, that checks out." Instantly. He didn't even need time to register. He just gave up. And I was like, man, this guy thinks I'm a loser. Am I going to have to pay this mugger to convince I'm not a loser? So I reach in my wallet, and I'm like, oh, fuck, I really don't have any money. I am a loser. And this mugging slowly turned into this like self-reflexive therapy session. And I'm sitting here kind of feeling sorry for myself. And the mugger laughs out loud himself, puts out his hand for me to shake it, and he goes, "Dude, pretty funny." Which is like a way better response than I've ever had doing stand-up. So like, it went from like a mugging to a therapy session to like this really positive experience. And I didn't lose any money, which meant that I technically made more money than I have done doing stand-up. So I think I should be a professional mug-e. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Ew! Jonathan Shannon. Dudiest, maniest bro.
Hell yeah.
And a muggy too. Wasn't that a oh no, I'm thinking of Muzzy. Wasn't that some like foreign language education?
Yeah, dude. That weird ass green thing.
Yeah. Dude, I'm just between pro wrestling and Muzzy. I dropped some obscure references. These are some deep cuts. Call Evanescence. These are some deep cuts. Hell yeah. All right, let's just keep. Oh yeah, before I bring up the next comic, stay tuned. Don't leave. We do have a few comics left, and then hey, it's time for Fastest Minute. That's where you get to run around. Well, you can run around your house. You can't run around here, but we're all gonna run around. We're gonna do one more one-liner. You got like a minute. It's like real quick. I remember one time, Mark, you guys did it. You started the mic with that, and you did like what 16 rounds of that.
One time, that was the whole mic. People wouldn't settle down at the beginning of the mic, and I said, "Fuck it, we're gonna start with the Fastest Minute until you guys lose some energy." And then we did it 14 rounds, and it lasted a couple hours, and that was it.
Oh man.
All right, hey, your next comedian coming to the stage. I hope I'm saying this name correctly. Give it up for Ray Jubella. Yeah.
What's going on, y'all? How you guys doing today? I'm happy to be here. I'm coming from Washington, D.C. I'm good to see that you all are safe. I have to admit, I did not take COVID-19 seriously when it first came out. I was like, a lot of people, I was like, this is no different than SARS or all those other ones. They make a big deal and turn out to be nothing. That was until I saw that ISIS shut down operations for COVID-19. I mean, these are people, they'll bomb and kill women and children, take out the infidels, but getting people sick, no, that's where they draw the line, okay? They're like, we're not monsters, okay? I mean, I guess suicide bombing doesn't really work in a social distance society. I guess it just doesn't happen, But at least they're doing something, as opposed to people here. The state of Ohio is under attack because the governor did ban large gatherings, except for churches. So there was a church in Ohio that was having large mass sessions, 150, 200 people. And of course, that got the attention of the news. And so one news crew went out there and they were interviewing people as they were coming out of the church. And when they interviewed this one woman in a minivan, and the reporter, he's sitting there, he's holding a 6-foot mic in complete hazmat gear, like they just found out ET lives at her house or something. and he's asking her, he's like, aren't you worried about getting the coronavirus? And she said, no, because I am covered in the blood of Jesus Christ. And hearing her say that made me think, God, I hope she's speaking metaphorically. I would hate to think that they have some Mexican guy of Mexican descent down in their basement, locked up, and they're just draining him of his blood. And he's like, it's pronounced Jesus. And they're like, shut up, Jesus. I mean, it's shit like that. That's why Jesus will never return. He's not coming back. Okay? They can think he's coming back. He's not coming back because, you know how he got crucified last time he was here. And that was by the people who didn't believe in him. When he comes back, he's going to get crucified again, but this time it'll be by the Christians because they're not going to want to hear what he has to say. First, because first he's going to come back. He's not going to be white. So, strike one. Secondly, he's going to be like, hey, everyone, you need to love everyone. It doesn't matter your race, your gender, your sexual orientation. Love everyone. And they're going to be like, all right, well, fuck this guy. Get the cross. All right. He clearly didn't learn his lesson this last time. We're going to have to do it again. And quite frankly, crucifixion is a lot easier now than it was then. Because back then you had to cut down the tree for the cross. You had to melt steel for the metal for the nails. And now we have Home Depot. So, yeah, Home Depot is your one-stop shop for crucifixion needs. Okay. It's a lot more efficient to nail somebody to a cross when Larry and Power Tools can just get you a deal on a sweet nail gun. Chunk, chunk, chunk. All right, raise them up. Yeah, use the crane. What do you think we leased it for? That's my time, guys. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Ray Jubel, let him hear it. Woo. All right, your next comedian coming to stage. This guy's got a name. It could either be a porn star name or like one of those TV televangelist names, but give it up for Cliff Knight.
Yo, what's happening? Really glad to be here. Thanks for having you guys. I'm really glad that we live in a time, we have a modern plague right now. This is the modern play because we all get to stay home. You know, there's Facebook, there's Netflix, and everything. Just stuff to occupy our time. You know, because I'm always thinking like, what about like back in the 1600s when they weren't so lucky? You know, that it would suck. Everyone's like, oh, stay home, quarantine yourself, and then people are like, well, what are we supposed to do? You know, and they'd be like, I don't know, stay home and make more carvings about what you think God looked like or something. I don't care. But I mean, like, we are so lucky. Can you imagine back then having to stay indoors and you can't even read? That would be the worst. Like, you're inside, you can't be like, oh, I guess I'll catch up on my Shakespeare. No, it sucks for you. It really does. You know, because right now we're all like, oh my God, Tiger King. But back then they would be like, what is a tiger? You know, like they would have no idea. Basically. I've been watching the news and some of the like the shade reports type thing. You guys saw Adele? Adele, like her glow up is insane, guys. Like it's so hilarious. But people are like, yeah, and she lost all this weight. And I'm like, yeah, that's what divorce does. The other person takes half of everything. That's how that works. I have a friend of mine who is very obsessed with being healthy, even more obsessed right now. He came up to me and he's like, yo, bro, I'm getting an enema. I'm like, okay, what, how does that make you healthy? If you're here and you don't know what an enema is, it's when you go to a professional and they shove a car wash hose up your butt and they pump about 45 gallons of water in there and then they wash all of the toxins and the conservative thoughts out of your asshole. So it's weird like that. Then he comes to me, he calls me up again. He says, oh my God, bro, I leveled up. I'm like, what? He's like, now I get coffee enemas. I'm like, okay, this is too much. Like, I heard about coffee enemas and I was like, yo, they are getting aggressive at Starbucks. That's too much. Really, what is it? You're gonna come in, they're gonna be like, yo, come inside, have a seat, take a drink. Like, what? And they're still gonna get your name wrong. That's not good. That's not good customer service. We just live in a world now where someone's gonna be on a commercial on TV, like, you know, McDonald's coffee tastes so much better, but Starbucks has got me covered end to end. They really do. They really do. And in my opinion, I think that if I was gonna pump a liquid up my ass, I would get something more interesting than coffee. You know, break out the tapioca. Let's get this going, guys. Like, where is all of the what's it called? Sangria? Something a little bit more fun than just that. It's 2020 now, guys. I saw a commercial that changed my life forever. And it's not often that you get to say something like that. You know, I saw a commercial for the all new 2020 Subaru Outback. Okay. You know anything about Subarus? They're very outdoorsy cars. You know, you can take them hiking and camping. Not now, not right now. Don't do it. But, you know, whoever made the commercial is like a good visual representation of this is if we have a goat in the commercial with the car, you know, because goats and Subarus are very similar, right? They climb mountains, they splash in puddles. Lesbians love them. These are the similarities. This is what I know from the marketing, you know. And, you know, so the whole vibe of the commercial is like, you got the car and we got the goat. We put the car up against the goat and you never guess who won. You never guess. It was the car. It was. I'm watching this. I'm like, I hope to God your car won. Are you fucking kidding me? If you put your car up against one goat and the car loses, I'm not buying your shitty ass car. You know what I'm gonna do? You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna buy that goat. That's what is actually gonna happen for sure. Catch me rolling through the city in my all new 2020 Subaru Outback. I'm doing that shit for sure, guys. Hey, yo, I've been Cliff Knight. Thank you guys so much. Peace and love. Bye.
Cliff Knight, let him hear it. That was awesome. All right.
Yeah.
Your next comedian coming to the stage. Cliff was talking about commercials. Your next comedian was in a commercial for the Subway restaurant chain. I'm not being racist. He was actually in a Subway commercial. His Def Jam comedy name is DJ Balsamic Vinaigrette. Give it up right now for my good friend Rishi Mathur, you guys. Yeah.
Hey, what's up? Yeah, did anyone see me in that commercial? No, probably not, right, Pratik?
I saw you.
I think you're the only person that lets people know that I was in that commercial. No one else has seen me in that commercial. 2.4 million hits, not a single. Let's see, where do I start? Well, wait, cool. That was a really great set. So here's the thing. I think I've been thriving in quarantine a lot. The greatest thing about quarantine is no awkward run-ins with people, no having to talk to people, and not really hanging out with people. So that's like my greatest fault is like I don't like people. I just found out like it's terrible. So I've been really doing well in quarantine. But the one thing I started doing was I started assisting people, and I kind of became a Zoom wingman on people's virtual dates. But in real life, it's harder to wing people. In virtual dating, it's impossible. Like I just sit there half the time doing nothing, and then somehow I wind up roofing myself. It's terrible. So I started taking lessons, and I try to start understanding how to become a better wingman. So I started doing this something called pickup artist. Have you guys done this?
Oh, God.
Yeah. There's a guy named Mystery who has been teaching me how to do this, and I learned Mystery's kind of a loser. Mainly because he learned magic for women. That's like the worst thing ever. Why would you learn magic for women? That's like the worst thing. I like if you're gonna do anything for women, you should pick up comedy. That's why I did it. I realize no girls want to sleep with comedians because it's like musicians and singers, and then it becomes like magicians somehow, then clowns, then mimes, then improv, then stand-up. Then you learn it's terrible decision making, but I still stick with my guns. I think that as an art, comedy's way better than magic. For money, magic's way better than comedy. So I'm kind of torn. What else? And so, yeah, then I realized that was terrible. So I started winging people again on dates. And I think I gave some good advice. No one got laid or anything like that. I mean, I think that's a good thing. I think we almost just saw titties once, but we also gave that girl $500. That's as far as we got. I'm gonna work on that. Thank you guys so much for that. I don't know. I got a lot of half-baked ideas. I just want to take a poll real quick. If you guys had a chance to die, would you want to be internally happy or internally sad out of curiosity? Anyone could answer. Would you want to be happiest inside or saddest inside?
Happy.
Happy?
Wow, that's a question. You don't want somebody's like happy? Happy. Okay, cool. And then if you die, do you want people to be emotional or whatever about it?
Oh, whatever.
Whatever. Okay, cool. So are you happy and whatever?
Yeah.
Whoever said that?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So I started breaking this down. A lot of people who said happy and emotional, I figured if you really want to die at that point, you should die as a kid because that's when you're the happiest and you're the most emotional. Yeah. I think since you want to die happy and whatever, you should die as an old person because most old people are miserable or super happy either or. But more importantly, no one gives a fuck that you died. All right. And so I'm trying to figure out where this lens goes. All right. I got a minute. That'll be my time. Thank you so much.
Woo. Yo. Rishi Mathur, give it up for him, you guys.
Yeah.
AKA my looper. He's me in the few past. He's coming to kill me, you guys. Hell yeah. He's my looper. I stumbled over. There was a weak dismount on that, but I got it. I Carrie Strugged it, you guys. Hell yeah. Who remembers Carrie Strug? Hell yeah. She guest starred on one episode, The King of the Hill, in Bobby Hill's Dreams. Fuck yeah. I know a lot of obscure things. That's awesome. You know what I was supposed to give my mom for Mother's Day, Mark? I was supposed to shave my beard. That was gonna be the present, and then I just got lazy.
Yeah, I told you not to do it.
We got a lot of good feedback on that last week.
I was gonna fight your mom over it.
Yeah. Hell yeah. All right, your next queen coming to the stage. Give it up for George Rivard.
Thank you. So like I'm hailing from Canada's north. I live in Toronto right now, but I grew up in Whitehorse, Yukon. That's like right beside Alaska. For those who don't know, I'll answer all your questions right here. I'm adopted. That's how that happened. Yeah. They're not building us up there. There's not many black people. But the thing is, though, when I tell people I'm from a small town, they're like, what was that like? What was that like? I'm like, well, we're small town folk. And I'm sure some of you guys know that here. Things happen a little slower. Like a little, it's folksier, right? Like I had to wait till I was 19 till I heard the N-word. I had to wait till I was 19. I mean, I was splashing around in the community pool, and all of a sudden someone's like, nigger. And I was like, where? This is a good neighborhood. We don't even have a Foot Locker. But yeah, it's been pretty crazy though. It's been pretty crazy these days, right? Like one of the first things that like gotten taken up, people didn't realize this during quarantine, that people have been adopting a lot of dogs, which is great for the Humane Society, and they've been adopting dogs from all over the world too, which is amazing. But like it seems amazing, but like I'm adopted from a different part of the world, right? And like that means that there's some kid in Africa who is just sitting there waiting, minding his own business, you know. Let's call him Magumbe. He's minding his own business. Then all of a sudden, he sees that white family come over the hill. He's stoked. Today's the day he gets adopted. He looks like, yeah. And they come up, and then they take the dog. That's some Stuart Little ass shit. Like, and he was just like, I was gonna eat him. What's up? Like, fuck. He has to say goodbye to Brad and Angelina as they walk off. Like, that's no way to be. Yeah, but once again, like, I'll leave you with this, right? Like, I've been getting in touch with my African family, right? And it's nice. It's really nice. And we've been chatting on like Facebook and stuff. And the thing is, Corona's tough. But like, I feel bad. Like, we have to deal with Corona here. Like in Africa, they have to deal with Corona while having to deal with Africa. Like, no one should have to deal with that shit, right? Like, I didn't even know there were people that were old enough in Africa to get Corona. Like, that should be a sign of wealth. Like, you'll just see like people lying about it, be like, oh, next thing you know, it was being a big scandal. It's like, next we go live to Robert Mugabe, who is, in fact, did not have Corona, but just run-of-the-mill malaria. Like, what can you expect? It's Africa. You know what, guys? That's all I wanted to do. Thanks, guys.
Yo, George Rivard, repping Yukon Ho. I remember that Calvin and Hobbes book. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
This is the obscure references portion of the mic. Hey, that's been my whole set. Coming up next, hey, this guy's regular at the Fun Simulation. See him all over. Give it up for Tristan A. Smith. Yeah.
Keep it going for Pratik and Mark. Give it up for him.
Yeah.
Earlier, Rishi said, does anyone recognize me from my Subway commercial? And I don't know how to say this. I don't recognize any commercial actor ever. I don't even know that I could really recognize Jared from the Subway commercials, and I have an incentive to recognize him. I live with children. Like, I don't. But like, I got a question for you guys. Is there anybody that that you're hoping dies from this virus? For me, I'm kind of hoping my roommate and his kids.
Close.
That was a great part.
Again, I'm not. I'm a bad guy, but I'm not a monster. I think all three got together. All right. Kristen Lundberg said, "Weird pause, bro." I don't know if that's to me or for someone else, but that's what's going on in the chat.
That's for you. It cut off.
Oh, did I have a weird pause? Yeah. I don't know. I'm outside. I don't know. The reception's not great out here, I guess. I got no clue. Let me switch gears for a second. Shout out to anybody who's racist right now during coronavirus. If you can be racist while your father's dying, you're an incredible multitasker, honestly. Like, I want to meet the person who's like, this virus took everything from me. It took my wife, took my kids, took my job, took my house. But if you think it took away my hatred of other cultures, no, baby, I lost that a long time ago. I hated Asians before it was cool. I hated everything. You're like, I want to meet the hipster racist. He was like, no, I was hating people before the virus made me do it. Also, recently I realized that Jussie Smollett is my second favorite black person. My favorite black person is O.J. Simpson. I like it whenever we get away with crimes. My fetish is freedom. Like, I think as black people, we've gone as far as marching can take us. We've seen enough of it. We tried it 50 years. We've gone as far as marching can take us. I think now we got to start thinking outside the box. And that to me means you got to start studying white people, studying what they care about. White people think they love most, they love law and order. They love Law and Order so much they named 27 different TV shows Law and Order. So we got to start beating them on their own turf because we got to start winning court cases against white people, which is why I love Jesse and OJ. All right, like by the end of honestly, I think if we really want equality, we got to start hurting white people and getting away with it. I know that sounds terrible, man. Like white people, you might be scared, but that's the only way that I can truly think of a fair society. White people have to feel wrong, but you have to get away. That's very clear. I saw a white person get up and leave on the video chat. I don't know if that's me or if her food is ready. I feel bad about that. I don't feel bad about it at all. I'm lying. I like when white people are uncomfortable. I'm just giving them back some of what they gave me. All right. That's all I really had to do. Give it up for Pratik and Mark for allowing us to do
Yo, Tristan A. Smith, the master of the dramatic pause. That was amazing. You're like, I almost wish somebody would die like my roommate. Pause. That was fucking genius. Also, you were talking about racist hipsters. I don't know. That's kind of like real hipsters. Some hipsters are actually racist. All right. Sure, I'm not saying frat boys are good people, but no frat boy ever told me why I need to like Slumdog Millionaire because it's a compliment to my people. Only hipsters have told me. All right, your next comedian coming to the stage. He's not a hipster or a racist. Give it up for Corey Leafker, you guys. Hell yeah.
You don't know me. You don't know me. I might be one or the other. Two truths and a lie. Which one is it? I don't know. Anyways, I don't know. I feel like I'm really close to joining a cult. And I've been thinking about it for a while, like way before this started, but like this is the best time. And it seems like all cult businesses are closed down. They're not essential for some reason. So I don't know. Till then. No, my roommate / girlfriend, we were watching Waco and she didn't understand how everyone was sticking around. And I looked at her, I'm like, do you see that guy? He is beautiful. He is charismatic. He has all the dope Bible riffs. Like he is everything you would look for in a cult leader. And I would be on board so quick. This is difficult to do with or without an audience. I don't know. I woke up in a Sybaris today, and yeah, I don't know. I felt like the luckiest guy in the world. I said, hey, I got to do comedy. I'm in the Sybaris. Everyone's butts are looking juicy for some reason. Didn't even know I was a butt guy, but I am. I don't know. What can you do? I feel weird around the people with the flat butts still. I don't know what's flat butts. It doesn't make sense. Like I used to be one of them. I used to be one of those flat butted people. Like I needed like 3 belts to just keep my pants on. But nowadays I'm working on nothing. Best thing ever. I'm charismatic now, or I'm working on it at least. I've been watching videos. You got to complain less. You got to find the bright side in everything. So I am. Here I am. Oh boy. Anyone else getting Pornhub Premium?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not that different. They're giving it away for free. It's not that different. It's, if anything, it's kind of insulting to the old Pornhub men and women. Like they're less than some. They get the job done the same. Wait, one sec. I'm getting a message here. It says, hi all. I have to log off. Great job. Thank you. I take that as a personal. Yeah, thank you. And yeah, have a safe show. I'm gonna give the time back to the room so we could keep things safe. My internet says I'm unstable.
God bless you.
I'll get that back. So you guys have a good night.
Yo, Corey Leafker, you guys. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
All right, you're next. You're next. It's cutting to you.
I don't know why it cuts to me. I'm not doing anything. I'm not really making a damn sound. I just happen to be on the far left of everybody on the fucking bar up top.
There we go. All right, your next comedian coming to the stage. Hey, I know this guy. Good dude. Give it up for Michael Shu. Hey.
Woo! Ooh, hello, everybody. Welcome to my basement.
Yeah.
It's good to be here. Yeah. This would be cool if this was my basement, but this is my parents' basement.
Yeah, I was gonna be like,
I mean, yeah. I'm a rich kid. I mean, look at this shirt. If this doesn't scream rich kid, then nothing will. That's kind of a douchey thing to say. But I'm kind of a douche, so I say douchey things. That makes sense. It doesn't really endear myself to other people. I get it. That's all right. Most comedians are douchebags, so I feel like I'm in good company. So I don't know if that's like a put down to anybody. Is anybody even there?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're here.
Yeah, we just we know we're scumbags. That's it.
There's 20 of us and we're all here.
Yeah.
Present and accounted for.
That's a bad sign, Mike.
Yeah, it's a good sign. It's not I mean, whatever. I try to be a good person every now and then, but I don't think I have the self-control to be a good person. Like I know my shortcomings, but it doesn't mean I can fix them. So it's kind of like Kanye West, but it's not exactly like that because I'm not as funny or as successful or talented as that guy. But yeah, I guess I sympathize with Kanye West. I don't know. I hope Kanye West the best. I hope he survives whatever he's going through. I think it's amazing that he hasn't divorced Kim Kardashian. Like, I think that's probably the greatest thing I've seen is that is a strong relationship, and like he's not cheated on her, and like there's been no like drama with it. So I just want to say I feel like Kanye's, despite his craziness, has done okay in his domestic life. So I feel like he's got that going for him. Yeah, cool. I'll see you guys in the real world real soon.
Woo!
Hell yeah, give it up for Michael Shu, you guys.
Hell yeah.
That's what happens when comedy stops getting real and starts being real world. Hell yeah. I knew what I was doing there. That was good.
Game recognized game.
All right. Your final comedian of the regular, Mike, and then we'll do the fastest minute. This guy is a regular of the Fun Simulation. Good dude. Give it up for Ron Irvin. Yeah.
Hey. Oh my God. How's it going? We're back in action. If you're muted, unmute yourself, cowards. Let's do it. As stated last week, I will not be doing actual stand-up comedy on Zoom. I refuse to do so. State, federal, municipal governments can take my freedom, but comedy can never take my dignity.
Called us cowards?
Yes, absolutely. Actually, that's a lie. That's a comedy has and will continue to take my dignity over and over and over again. Just 100%. I just want to talk about shit. I just want human contact at this point so goddamn much. Welcome to my actual basement. If you can't tell, I live in the Parasite apartment, but the apartment for the poor family.
Yeah.
And I think the deal is I'm trying to parasite the poor family. Like I live below them. I'm just like, I'll get the pizza crust. I don't know. What did I watch? I watched this documentary on Netflix. I think it's called A Secret Love or Hidden Love, something like that. It's about a lesbian couple in their 90s who didn't come out until their 90s, which is insane. And it was like nobody knew. And it's one of those situations where you're like, how could you not know? But I think like they lived in Chicago, but they were from Canada, or at least one of them was. And one of them came to America from Canada to play professional softball, and I'm sorry, I don't know how that looks. Like, how is that not? How is that not? How is not just like 100% glaring in your face? Jesus Christ! All right. I think last week I just talked shit about wrestling a lot, which I stand by.
Yeah, do it. Please do more.
No,
There's
it's fine.
talk.
It's I
Do
look. I'm not gonna because I did it last week. It's just bullshit for children that you man children take too seriously. It's fine to be. I literally like while I'm listening to you guys, I was playing the Sega Genesis game on my computer. It's fine to have bullshit for children, but it's way too seriously. Like way too serious. I'm not. We're done. It's fine. Anyway, what else have I been watching? A lot of Richard Linklater movies. I've been on that kick. Has anybody watched the Before trilogy?
No.
Wow, it's a whole room. All right.
No, I have not.
Seen
I've
one
not.
of them.
Criterion falls silent in this room. First off, shout out to Tristan, the realest motherfucker that has ever lived doing open mics on the street. Outside. That's fantastic. It's great. I don't know why this is like the greatest imagery ever, but I love it. Like you doing an open mic outside is just like a Harmony Korine movie in and of itself.
Oh my god.
It's great. I don't
Thank
know
you.
why. Yeah, I don't know why I'm dropping film references. Listen, all right, there's the light. Jesus Christ. The only human contact I've had is like Zoom recording my podcast, but that's still just like, I don't know. Has anybody, if you could recommend me one thing to watch, what would it be?
There's this one professional wrestling.
Stop.
And burn Civil War.
Stop. I will break quarantine. I will go on a fucking breathing tube. Oh
Harley
my
Quinn.
God, yeah.
Tom Segura hates wrestling too. You should watch it.
I do need to watch that Harley Quinn show. That'll be what I'll check out. Thank you. Boom. All right. My, what is it?
The Righteous Gemstones.
Oh, I need to check that out too. All right. That's what I'll watch tonight. All right. Thank you. My specials on Pornhub. Have a good night.
Yo.
Ron, one thing that's funny is like you start talking shit about wrestling and then everybody defends wrestling and then you turn into a fucking professional wrestler over there. I will break quarantine and go down there and fuck you.
You listen to me, Mean Joe Brown.
I'll see you at the Nassau Coliseum.
Yeah.
Ron, Tom Segura got in trouble on the internet for shitting on wrestling.
That's great. What a king. That's a total king move.
Yeah, we should demo him.
Nothing but respect for my president.
I'm gonna do this, guys. We're gonna do the fastest minute in comedy. Stick around or leave. I don't really give a shit. I'll call you, put the mic on you, and you have a minute, and then I'm gonna fucking take the mic off you, and that's how we do it. We do this at the open mic. It's usually not a lot of fun, but I can do it. My favorite part of doing this is we for those of you that don't know, we perform in the back of a bar, and there will be comedians sitting there like 6 feet away from me, look me straight in the eye, and just go.
Yeah.
And then put on their backpack and slow fucking walk out.
Yeah, it's great. I miss it so much.
Well, you don't even like. You could have left the whole time, but you're like, I'm waiting to the end till the fast minute starts, and oh shit, we gotta go.
We're fake respectful. That's what it is.
No, it's scripted respectfulness, Ron.
Yeah. No, that's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. That's 100%.
On that note, we're gonna kick this off. Our first comedian going up is Paula, and she's got 1 minute. Go.
Okay, so most of you guys know that I'm a parent, right? And I did a lot of things bad, and I did one thing worse. I didn't spank my kids. It's a conscious decision. I know I fucked up. I'm still paying for it. But what I do a thing called Mama's Magic, where I get the kids back and make shit happen, right? A few years ago, a son of mine was borrowing my phone because he didn't have one of his own because he's a dumb fuck, lost his. But he watched porn on mom's phone. I got suspended from work without pay for a week because this dumb fuck using my phone. Well, at least that's what I told him because he doesn't borrow my phone anymore. And it's great. Mama's magic, see? Made shit happen. Now what do you know? It's been great. I just remember that pregnancy should be listed on a list of STDs because it's fucking dangerous and it lasts a lifetime. I don't know where I'm at the minute, so I'm just gonna say thank you for the time.
Thank you. We're gonna keep going. I don't see Carrie Cool Trip. I do not see him in the room. Does anyone see him in the room? No, going once, going twice. So it's Kristen Lundberg, you're up. Go.
Hey, go. You guys, happy Mother's Day. My cat didn't get me anything for Mother's Day. Go figure. You know, none of us would be here without the big mother, Mother Nature. All right, give it up for that. All right, Mother Nature is whooping us. That's all right. Don't give it. Mother Nature is whooping us. She's giving us a big old ass whooping with coronavirus right now. Okay, this is a big whooping. This isn't like just because you're in arm's reach or you're in the back seat or whatever. Okay, Mother Nature is finna sign a UFC contract with this ass whooping. All right, this is like the disrespect that makes her pull over the minivan on the side of the highway, right? And right now she's making us all file out. She's making us all, only 2 of us did something really bad, but she's gonna start every single one of us just because we're here. All right, just because we're here. And just when we calm down and think, oh, everything's gonna be fine, we start laughing. Oh, she's not mad anymore. Okay, it's fine. It's September. She's gonna whoop us again. All right, so happy Mother's Day and enjoy your mom if she's there.
Yeah. Our next meeting, I don't see Sebastian Smith in the room. Going once, going twice, no Sebastian Smith. So Kelly Zemnicki's, you're up. Go.
So I'm enjoying getting older. I celebrated my birthday recently in quarantine, super fun. But what I'm not digging about being in my 40s is that I still break out. So I called my doctor. I was like, hey, what can I do about these breakouts that I keep getting? And she said to me, well, you know, Kelly, if you have a baby, your hormones will balance out and your skin will clear up. Yeah, a baby. Apparently we're out of cream in Canada. There's no cream left. And I don't know about you, but I feel like it's a tad bit selfish to bring a person into this world just so I can have clear skin. That's all.
Thank you. One more time for Kelly. One more time for Kelly. Kelly Zemnicki's. I don't think Ira Summers here. I don't think Vic Panda's here. Nathan Gibson is here. Holy crap. Yeah.
Woo, go.
ECW. I wish use this time to describe my current favorite wrestler.
Fucking damn it.
His name is, you can look him up. You can look him up. His name is Dan the Dad. His theme song is "Carry On My Wayward Son." He wears New Balance shoes. He wears jean shorts that are just a little bit too short, and you don't want. They should be longer. And he will bring out his belt if he has to.
Why do you live in a thrift shop?
You have to ask.
This is a mic, not a roast.
I don't care. I don't care.
What's his finishing move, Nathan?
Wait, was it the person in the basement that was knocking?
Yeah,
me?
the parasite basement.
I'll give the time back to the room so we can see.
I love you, Nathan.
Nathan, all you gotta do is show off your plumbing. That's it, or your dry floors. That I think that would impress Rhonda. Those floors. You don't have wet floors, but that tile, it just looks like there's probably a puddle somewhere. But we're gonna do this, guys. Our next comedian, where is he at? Gary Hughes, where are you? I'm gonna find you. I'm gonna find you.
Go.
The black one. The black one that's not outside. The black one that's not outside. Okay.
There are okay.
Let's see. Ever since middle school, since I've taken sex ed, when people or institutions always give away free condoms, it's just been a habit for me to grab a bunch of free condoms. So that's been my habit to this day. I have a bunch of free condoms, but I also have a sweet tooth. And one day I was like, I had nothing to like please my sweet tooth, so I just sucked on a flavored condom, and it's not that bad. It's not bad. It's pretty cool. Yeah, if you don't, I wanted chocolate milk and you only got milk, you just let the chocolate condoms steep in the milk for like 4 minutes. I think that's like milk chocolate level. I'm not a dark chocolate guy. That's like 20 minutes. That's more for older people. But those are my tips on how to be resourceful in the economy. All right, thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. I like that you could be like, dude, I'm not gay. I'm only sucking on a condom. Like it was on a I'm only doing it for the flavor.
Hey. So Kristen mentioned about this being Mother Nature pulling us over and beating us, even though only a few of us did so. Kristen, all of us did something very wrong. All of us. We got exactly what we deserved. People have to stop saying PC culture is ruining things. I really hate that. I think it's bullshit. You know what the biggest song was in 1992 in the whole fucking country? Was Achy Breaky Heart by Billy Ray Cyrus. You could throw
Hell
faggot
yeah.
without anyone gasping in 1992. Anybody starting to wonder if it might just be how we are? Because what's one of the biggest songs right now? That's probably by Miley Cyrus, his fucking daughter. I'm just saying we just have to start killing off some rich families, and then if things are still bad, we can talk about PC culture.
Hallelujah!
Whoa!
I don't know what just happened.
That left his turn. Is that him quitting comedy? What just happened?
Yeah.
He left like a magician.
Somebody accidentally played a TED talk.
Yeah, I don't know.
He was like a magician. He just disappeared.
That's like a curtain.
I may have done that. I don't know, but we're gonna keep going. That was a minute. Whatever.
Fucking best exit I've ever seen.
You disappear, man. I'll make you disappear. I don't think Seth's here. I think Kurt's still here. I think I was.
Yep, I'm here.
Yeah, hell yeah. There you go. Here-
Go.
Go.
So I live pretty close to LA, and I'd go down there to do some background work, and sometimes I'd go there to game shows. They call it clapping for money. And the last time I was there, then we get on set and you're in this small little corral, like a horse corral thing, where they hold you and then they bring you in once the last audience leaves. So we're waiting there, and this guy who's in front of me says, "Hey, I gotta go to the bathroom." The security guard says, "Sorry, you gotta wait until we get on set." And she starts walking away. Then she stops, turns around, and says, "Hey, bathroom man." So I looked at the person in front of me. I said, "Bathroom man? What's with these new superheroes? I miss the old Avengers." The old Avengers. Thank you.
Thank you, Kurt Seablum. Thank you. Our next comedian, Pat Griffin's not here, but I want to give it up for Pat Griffin winning the Mother's Day Mike Award of being the most motherly at the mic. I'm just saying. I don't know if that means anything. There we go. We had him out.
80% alcohol sanitizer / lube.
Okay, that's relevant right now.
Who has her address?
Where's Tommy at? Tommy, you're gonna go up. Tommy the road.
Tommy.
Hey,
go.
Tommy.
Hey, do you think when Albert Einstein used to masturbate, you'd call that a stroke of genius?
Yeah.
Hey. Do you think when a deaf guy goes down on his girlfriend, he judges what he's doing down there by reading lips? And if he can't tell, does that make him a clitoris?
Yeah.
I often wonder to myself if when two Jewish stoners are getting ready to get high, does one ever ask the other one if he wants to get baked? History joke. You think you could put a dog into a submarine, you'd call that a subwoofer?
Yeah.
I'm gonna give the rest of the time back. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Bro. Tommy the Roach. What are you eating there, Lundberg? I don't know why it went to you.
This technology, Mark. It keeps
Whoa. Guys, we got commercials, man. We got fucking commercials.
I got chocolate mini wheats, yo, chocolate stacks.
That sounds really good. I'm hungry. I should probably eat some.
Especially
Love
after
that
weed.
Our next comedian, Shane Kenny.
Get it.
Yeah.
So doing stand-up is a lot like going into a casino, but with your time and self-esteem instead of money.
Yeah.
Like you're probably walking out with a lot less than what you went in with. And when people ask how it was, you're gonna lie and say it was awesome. Laughter and the virus have a lot in common. Like both are easily spread in large groups. And like comedians, most Americans do not take them seriously.
Yeah.
I did 2 mics the other day and then an open mic. It felt good to suck twice before getting on stage. Thank you guys.
Yeah. Woo. Shane. Thank you, Shane. Kenny. We're gonna keep going with please welcome Trevor Curtinson.
Yo, Trevor.
All right. So I missed public interaction because the guy yelled at me right before this all happened. He said, "Hey, I want Pirates of the Caribbean. I want to come on your face." Which I thought was bleak, but here's the thing: the guy that yelled at, he was a big guy, right? He could have made that shit happen if he wanted to. That's all I got. I don't know.
Yeah, we're gonna get going. Good job, Trevor. Doing it. Hey, you know what? At least you did the fastest minute. Many people run away with their little backpacks. I don't like when they do that.
Yeah, who are those people?
I don't know. Ron Irvin. I don't know.
No, I stick around and I talk to you and your wife about movies till 2 a.m.
It does happen. We were gonna do that after this. Too.
Yes.
It's basically a podcast that's not recorded. It's really.
It really is. It's awesome.
It's great. Our next comedian, please welcome Lauren Harsh.
Yo.
I keep thinking about how the first thing I did in 2020 was have a threesome. Yeah, it was FFM and CCN.
Yeah.
Comic, non-comic. And so I spent the first 2 weeks of January just walking around with an absurd amount of confidence. When I almost sent out a cover letter for a job that included the phrase, "If you don't hire me, that's your problem," that was when it hit me that, oh, I'm getting a taste of what the most mediocre straight white men on earth feel like most of the time. And that's not a healthy thing to default to. Yeah, needless to say, it gave me some unrealistic expectations of what this year was going to be like. Now I don't know when I'm going to have sex again.
Yeah. I like when people have the exact timing of a minute down without being lit in it. It's my favorite thing. Or please welcome our next comedian. Where is he at? I gotta find him. It takes 1 second to find him. Jonathan Shitty.
Go. So, my fiance described comedian as a delightful bully.
Yeah.
Author's note: I added the word delightful. One time a stranger asked me when this open mic started, and I was like, "How do you know I was a comedian? All I'm doing is sitting alone in a bar by myself with a notebook and a glass of water." If you think about it, anxiety is like the jazz of mental illness. It's about the stuff that doesn't happen. I use private browsing on my internet to hide that I'm a bad speller. Like, is cum dumpster one word or two? Let me see. The thing I hate most about looking thin and sickly is that vegans just assume you're on their side, no matter how dumb their process. All right, that's a myth for me.
Yo, dude, man, bro.
Jonathan Shannon looks like he's. You know what? We'll all look like you in about. That's how this is gonna go. There's not going to be any protein in the stores. We're all going to be involuntary vegan, which is even worse than actual voluntary vegans. Oh, God. Guys, our next comedian, please welcome Cliff Knight.
Hey, what's up? We are locked indoors, and so therefore we've been playing a lot of board games, and so therefore I've decided that I need to make a D&D for Black people. This is representation matters so much. I mean, obviously we're gonna have our own versions. You know, the bards are gonna be the rappers, warriors are gonna be gangsters, and paladins are gonna be any character from Denzel Washington. That's how that works. The quest is that you have to make it through South Central to your auntie's house and pick up the barbecue before she finishes cutting her hair. Okay, realistic shit. If you run into trouble with the cops, all you got to do is quote Kendrick, and that protects everybody at the cookout for 3 turns until, of course, you can get your own way out of there. It's very strange that a lot of those types of media don't have any Black people. Like Lord of the Rings, there are 0 Black characters in that. I don't count the orcs because those are, of course, Indian. No, I'm kidding. But for an entire series, Lord of the Rings is very strange that there's no black people because that's a whole show that's about Blake.
That's 1 minute. Sorry, that's 1
That's
minute.
1 minute.
Can't start a new bit after a minute. Can't do that at all. Sorry. It's good though. It's good though. We got George Javard coming up. I think Rishi's gone. Rishi's gone. Yeah, George Javard. Yeah.
Myself, I'm unmuted. Okay, boom. So growing up, I remember learning about Black history. It was sweet. My mom taught me this stuff. So I immediately took this information and went to school and demanded Lunchables for reparations from all the other kids. Now they all got pissed. And I remember getting this phone call and my mom's like, do you know why Travis is all pissed? And I'm like, I don't know. It's like, well, apparently he's racked with white guilt. He thinks that his grandparents used to own your grandparents. That's not how it works, George. You're just regular African. When you saw the boats coming, you went the other way. You didn't participate in the great experiment. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, woo. That was fast. That was fast.
Nice and tight.
Thank you, George Javard. We're gonna go down to our man on the street.
Hell yeah. Hell yes.
Like a news reporter on the street.
All right,
Yes.
let me. I gotta address this. I'm outside because my apartment is not clean, so I'd rather risk my death than
Dudes
have you see me
rock.
inside of my apartment. Like a lot of people have been trying to like use this this virus to make themselves better. Not me, baby. I've done nothing to improve my life at all. Like I started working from home. Like that's the only reason I'm sort of okay is because I'm working from home. But like when I first was told I was gonna be working from home, my boss was like, "Yo, that means you're your own boss now." And I realized I'm not a good boss. I'm really I come to work late. I sleep on the job all the time. I don't do the work really. I lie to my boss all the time about where the work is, both my real boss and myself. All right, that's not as good as I hoped it would be. I'll be honest. And I only got like 30 seconds left, so I've got nothing else to do. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Go.
Go.
Thank you, Tristan E. Smith. I don't see Mike Shue in the room. Does anyone see him? I do not.
You have a piece of fuzz on your beard, Tristan.
Yeah, Tristan, you got a little something. Yeah.
I'm eating a different snack for every minute.
Holy shit.
What you got in there?
Wait, what is this snack now?
This is brought to you by Rich Cuisine.
That's chips and queso.
Are you being sponsored?
Here, let me get it for you. Hold on a second. I'll show you. It's Tostitos.
This is an infomercial now.
This is
Why are we waiting?
Well, I'm ready to go.
We gotta get with this
He's
jar.
not even us.
Ah.
This is the bomb.com.
Did they sponsor this mic next week?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, let's invite them.
Call them up, Kristen. Get them industry.
Guys, you're coming
Hashtag
in around time. Our next comedian.
We got one person left, motherfucker.
John, go.
Hey.
Logic.
Mark, when you were talking about in the beginning where you're like sucking, you're like, it's not gay, I'm just sucking on a condom. The only thing that made me think of was like, yeah, me and a boy's gonna get a 24-pack, go hang out down by the creek.
I like that. That's fun.
Just suck a bunch of rubbers.
I like that. That's funny.
I don't know why it's the dumbest fucking thing. Weed rocks. Yeah. Yeah. This whole thing, I don't know what clearer sign people want from people that God just wants stand up temporarily dead. And I just think, who are we to question his will and don't fight it?
Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord.
Yeah, praise the Lord. Exactly, dude. I miss it so much. I miss Paulie at Reed's. What are we gonna do when we get Mark? What's the first thing we're gonna do when we get back to Reed's?
I have no idea.
Bring in actual water.
Yes, bring in actual water. We're gonna bring water bottles into Reed's.
Everybody bring a water bottle the first time back at Reed's.
Oh my God, what the fuck happened at Reed's? What?
No, don't try to bring a water bottle in. That's
Yeah, just don't. All right. Thank you.
Don't bring a water bottle. No, you can't do that.
Go.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Ron, you rubber sucker. Thanks.
I know. My father before me and his father before him.
It's our word.
Rubber sucker Jim.
My God, that's somehow worse. Of mice and men, that's Crooks. He's a rub sucker.
That's great. Oh man.
How you get canceled on the Zoom open mic?
Yeah, it's great. What am I gonna do? Get in trouble in the Zoom open mic? Suck my dick. I don't know.
Yeah, in the chat.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
SWA.
Well, thanks, guys. We did it. We did it again.
Oh,
We got
awesome.
through it. This was a very fun night. It's way later than I thought it would be. What the?
That was must be Tristan.
I'm looking at Tristan.
Oh yeah. There's a car. Nigga, there's a car. Calm down.
Yeah.
I was
It
expecting.
sounded like a Gmail sound when you send a message away.
Yeah.
I thought I was in Inception or something. I was like, am I in Inception? The train going through my shit.
Oh
I
god.
thought Tristan was gonna get put into a van and disappear forever. And
Yeah.
it's like somebody ping his cell phone. I don't know.
Uh,
We did it, guys. I'm just gonna close off the live stream and keep the Zoom going for a minute. But guys, thanks for coming out. We do this every week. See you maybe next Sunday, but definitely 2 weeks from now we'll do it. So
hell yeah.
Yeah, that was great. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.